Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. We are live. Welcome to another rousing edition of Untitled with me, your host, R. Jones, and I'm joined by one of my closest friends, good friend, my man David. David, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that, and of course, I'm doing quite well. Let me just apologize real quick in advance because right now my neighbors they're in this
Okay.
kind of partying mood. They was just blasting their music. They just turned it
Oh, okay.
down.
Okay.
Maybe the security actually got off their ass and did their job. It's like, hey, people do have to work the next day. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they did their job. Um, so with that being said,
Yeah.
you know how it is. You
Yeah.
get these people, man. It's just like this very little respect and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But you already know the deal.
Yeah.
So with that being said, brother, let's get into some baseball. We usually don't talk about baseball like we used to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still kind of, believe it or not, I'm still kind of hurt from the past work stoppages, aka the strikes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It took a lot of my because we all know that baseball was my first love sports wise.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
before football, before basketball,
Mm-hmm.
it was baseball all day
Mine
long.
too.
You know, David. We
We
used to
know.
do the
Yeah,
we
we
used
know.
to do we used to do the board games, all that stuff, playing in the
That's
backyard with
everything. Yeah. Then we were
everything,
serious.
everything associated with that sport. We was
Yeah.
with it fully. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Going to games, all that stuff. But those work stoppages, those strikes, man, it took a lot of my love and actually turned it into hatred.
No, I feel you on it.
Hmm.
Listen. Um, I developed a little bit of indifference
Hmm.
towards the sport. The magic of it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that's the childhood magic of it
of
and
course.
the excitement of it. And then as you get older and real
Hmm.
life happens and hits
Right.
you, um, you realize that it's not really as high on your list of priority, and
Hmm.
and you use it as an outlet and entertainment. I think I got back into it very strong when my son
Hmm.
was little,
Okay.
because I wanted to share the experience of going to the ball game with him.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, my father wasn't into sports,
Okay.
so I never had that experience of going to the game with my
Hmm.
dad, and I
Hmm.
used to see other kids with their dads. So
Right.
um, it's it was something I wanted to share. I
Hmm.
wanted to share with him, and
Hmm.
he enjoyed it.
Right.
Um, and as he grew up, we started out going to Shea, and I had to tell you, seeing it through a kid's eyes,
Hmm.
it brought back a lot of the love that I had for it because I
Okay.
remember being that age. But now my son is in his 30s, and he watches, and we we share that, but it's not the same.
No.
And there's too much of the other stuff
Right.
that like you talked about, and just the feeling that the guys. I mean, I guess they always have been, but they're in it for the money,
Of
and
course.
and it's rare that you really see somebody that overtly shows that they love the game. They're
Right.
passionate about the game,
Right.
and so I didn't really get into all of it. Kind of that did kind of turn me off a little bit,
Hmm.
but the mystique of it is gone. That's what
I,
I'm really trying
I,
to
you
say.
know what? I hear you, brother. Because like I said, man, I was a guy, and you know this for a fact. I was a guy to remember stats. I
Yes,
used to
yeah,
love keeping stats, love
hmm
it, and try to my best to memorize it, which I did for the
yes,
most part.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
hmm
And you couldn't tell me nothing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You R was a statistician.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was better. God bless my brother. I was better than him. Okay. Okay, right off the top of my
Yeah.
head, I love that guy, but I was even better than that guy.
Mm,
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. So like I said, it just took a whole lot of my love and passion for the
yeah.
sport, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that,
Yeah.
yeah, good.
No, I was going to say also, as you
Mhm,
get older and you raise a family,
mhm.
um, you view money differently.
Right,
And you look at guys that are making crazy amount of money
for sure.
who sometimes they don't seem happy.
Right. Right.
and you're like, listen, I'm making peanuts compared to them, and I'm trying to make a life for my
Hmm.
family. And so when
Right.
they start bickering about those kind of things, I'm like, really,
Well,
you
yeah.
get to play a kids game, a game that we all love, and
Hmm.
I'm not saying this to say that they shouldn't get paid, but when it becomes about the finances
Hmm.
more than becomes about the love of the game, then then
Exactly.
it turns me off a little bit.
Well, you know what? And I know we don't have this as a topic, but since we're in this lane, we might as well go on just a little bit longer. I've long been a guy, a fan that says, you know what? The hell with the players. And then when I say that, I'm
Hmm.
talking about, and this is something I touched on the last program,
Hmm.
is the fact that, the owners should get the lion's share of the money. You
Absolutely,
understand? They should.
absolutely.
I'm sorry. You get paid well enough already.
Yeah,
I don't want to see a $75 million a year baseball player or in any sport. I don't want
yeah,
to see that. And I
yeah,
don't care if the owners can afford it, but damn it, come on. We have to draw a line somewhere. There has to be a
yeah,
line drawn somewhere. It's ridiculous to me.
yeah. I mean, for the owners, some of them they actually have a real, they're fans and have a love for the game, but a lot of them it's an investment.
Yeah, of course. It's a bit, and
You
I
know,
understand it's a business.
and yeah, so I get as far as them,
Mhm.
where the dollar is the bottom line.
Right.
As far as the plays, it's interesting. I was playing one of
Mhm.
like the franchise modes on
Yes.
2K because I've been through playing the regular way and I
Mhm.
just wanted to try out the franchise mode. So
Okay.
I'm playing as a GM, and
Mhm.
my least enjoyable aspect of it is the money part of it. And it becomes so frustrating because you're trying to put this team together, and then
Right.
you're losing guys,
Hmm.
and you got to look at all these contract stuff. Dom knows contracts. He
Right.
could pull up and tell you about the contract.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
not really my thing that
That's
I
not.
enjoy out of it.
That's not. That's not. That's not your lane, huh?
No, it's not my lane, and then it takes some of the. Now I can of course tweak the game a little bit where
Hmm.
but I wanted it to be as realistic as possible. But what you find yourself doing
Right.
is, I sim the seasons, and then you're working on, you know,
Yeah.
getting your draft capital and trying to keep players,
Right.
and then you get into all these different aspects of it, and do you offer
Hmm.
an extension, and
Hmm.
listen, I've been paying luxury tax every season because it was just like I'm just throwing the money. This is what I was saying last week though about
Right.
where
Right.
you're just throwing the money, and I
Right.
don't care. If I can keep the guy, I can keep the guy.
Right.
But that part of it, I understand that that's realistic, but
Hmm.
that's my least enjoyable aspect of it.
you know what? I'm a little bit different than you. During the times when I was playing those games and whatnot, I used to love that financial part. It
Yeah,
was like, to me, it was kind of like a puzzle, and you're trying to put together the pieces
yeah,
correctly and
yeah.
whatnot, and get the best fit and make it. I used to love that aspect of those
See, and
games.
that's why you would in the game you
Yeah,
would be like the
yeah,
CFO,
yeah.
and I would be heavily into. I love the draft.
Right. Okay.
That's my thing.
Okay.
So
Right.
looking at the prospects and
Right.
trying to get my draft capital up so that I could maybe make a trade. That was
Understood.
another thing too. With these games, I mean they
Yeah.
are realistic, so you can't just make any trade that you want because
No.
they tell you it's
they-
going to put this team on the salary cap. It's
Exactly.
just this and
Exactly.
that aspects of it, and you have to then. It
Right.
is kind of fun to try to find
Hmm.
the pieces to make the
Hmm.
numbers match.
For sure. For sure.
That is fun, but so I've gone some seasons where I've
Yeah.
been very tight wad,
Right.
and then I've gone other seasons where what I'm chopping everybody because I'm going for this big free agent,
Right.
and
Exactly. I
and then
understand.
then you find out sometimes you do the chopping and then you don't get the guy, then you're like pissed.
Exactly.
So,
Is that put you in a really, really bad position?
oh
Whatnot.
yeah. I'm ready to fire myself. I said, somebody's going down for this.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see if this guy's mic is live. I think we have Reggie. Reggie, your mic is live. Oh no, it's not live because he's got it on mute. But join in when it up, and then he disappeared. Fantastic. That's great.
Okay.
Well, that it is what it is. Let me get into the topics tonight. Wow. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, there he is. I think he's there. Let's see.
Good
Sir,
good evening, fellas.
good
Hey,
evening.
hey, what's up?
Yeah, I just stomached DeMarcus Ware national anthem singing debut. He needs to go back to playing
Oh,
football.
okay. Is that one? Okay, I saw
Really?
it. I
Yeah.
saw it in the chat, and I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get the context. Yeah.
Nobody want to see that guy sing. Come on, stop.
Oh,
You know what I'm
my
saying?
God.
Nobody, yeah, I can only imagine.
He
Listen,
better go back to tackling quarterbacks and running backs.
with the quickness, exactly. Okay. Let's get into the Yankees, man. I'm hearing Brian Cashman, the fans want him gone. He might be on the hot seat. I don't know. I don't know. Or
I think he's been on the hot seat.
He's been
really
on the hot seat for at least 20 years. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. He was on
well,
the hot seat when he took the job.
well, the thing is, you're sitting in fourth place. Your team's sitting in fourth place. They're a few games over 500. You would
Oh, they
think
got out of the cellar.
no, they're in the cellar. They're in fourth place in the AL East.
Oh,
Is it fourth? Wait, is it fourth?
Fifth.
Five?
That'd
excuse
be
me.
5. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, they're in fourth.
Okay,
Okay,
so
from what I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So they're not too far away from the cellar. But
Yeah.
that being said, why didn't this guy make a move, a major move, or even not even a major move, but something significant, a move to get them better?
Significant to do what? To make
get
the
to-
playoffs? To make the
Well,
playoffs only to
well,
lose again?
Well, you know what, and that let me tell you something, Reg. That's a good point because that's been my stance for years in regards to the Yankees. Ever since King George died and his sons took over, I honestly felt that the Yankees making it the top of the mountain for them would be to be in the playoffs, but not go further and try to win championship number 28. That's how I personally felt.
That's so un-Yankee like. I mean, because that's Met territory for Yankee fans. They would say, they're making the playoffs being, the sign of a good season. The Yankees, that's never been, their MO, at least not in the last 40 years.
Well, again, like I said, King George, I love that guy. Yeah, he a jerk at times? For sure. Was he annoying at times? Of course. But the one thing I respected is that he wanted to win. And he wanted to give the fans a championship. That's the thing that I respected most. Yeah, he made some bonehead moves, which was like, yo, George, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like leave it to Stick, Michael, or Bob Watt, or whoever was the GM at the time. You understand what I'm saying? So leave it to these guys. But again, he had a passion for winning. I don't think his sons got that.
I don't think so either.
I don't think his sons got that.
They don't have that same Steinbrenner gene when it comes to winning and what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sure, they all want to win, but no, that was life or death for Georgia, and somebody's head was going to roll. Whereas I think that they are a lot more tolerant, which if you are employed by them, it's a good thing. You want them to be, a little patient with you. But if, George was, oh no, you lost in the 7th game of the World Series, you might, you might not make it back.
Yeah,
he just he did not accept. I'm being kind here. He did not accept that. And, even if he had to. Even if he had to
George
fight the
ruled
manager,
with an iron fist. Boy.
Oh yeah. Even if he had to fight somebody in the
and that's what I loved about him, to you honestly. Yeah, like I said earlier, was he sick then at times? Like, oh man, this guy needs to just go somewhere, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Calm your head down. But
that was part of the Yankee mystique, baby.
Well, that was I mean, even
win or go home. Yeah, he really meant it.
Oh
that was it.
No, he meant it, and
he meant it.
And if he got to buy you a bus ticket out of here, you're
exactly.
Gone.
You had enough money to do it.
Absolutely.
We are joined nice and early by, of course, our good friend to the show, the Bishop, our brother. How you doing tonight, Bishop?
The Bishop is early.
Early.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be one of those shows. I can feel
It's,
it.
It's
it's gonna
going to
be
be
one
one
of
of
those.
those shows
I
early.
can feel it.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow.
That's just a
Wow.
good thing, Brother
Yeah,
Bishop. That's
yeah.
just a good thing.
Wow. Okay.
What's
All
up,
right.
man? How you doing, brother, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
blessed and highly favored.
There
All
you go.
right, all
There you
right.
go. As you probably heard, we're talking about your team, the New York Yankees, and they didn't make any major significant moves at the trade deadline. And the fans were calling for his firing at was it the last game or the game before? I think it was early. And one of the teams they was playing, the guy hit a 2-run homer, and they're like, fire Cashman, something to that extent. I think the fans are getting fed up. Yankee fans, and this is including myself, most Yankee fans are very spoiled. I noticed that. They're extremely spoiled. They're
Yeah.
used to winning. They're used to going to the playoffs. They're not winning a championship, but they're going to the playoffs. You understand? And
Minimum.
at bare minimum. And
Yeah.
I think, we're seeing the kind of the head of that in the disappointment performance of this team thus far in this 2023 season.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to sell the Yankee mystique on we're a playoff team.
No.
No.
Well, pretty soon, and this is going to sound crazy, what if it gets to the level of them being like the Cowboys, where could you imagine?
Wow.
First of all,
wow.
you got 27 championships. They will never be in the same sentence as the Cowboys.
No,
Let's stop that right there.
No, we're not going to stop it. We're not going to
Wow.
stop it.
We're going to stop that right there,
you
buddy.
You see what he just did, right?
What
You
did
see
I
what
do?
he just did? You
What
see
did
what
I
he just
do?
did?
What did I do?
Dave, did you just see what he just did?
Yeah, I saw it.
What did I do?
So
Please,
so
expound.
in other
What did I
words,
do?
he wanted to deflect from the shitty Mets. So he made the analogy.
Dude, I haven't even talked about the Mets.
He made the analogy to be like, yo, Yankees and Cowboys. It's like, dude, like that comparison, no.
Well, the only way that I could really see that comparison is, the Cowboys still call themselves America's team.
Mhm.
And the Yankees, they have fans all over the place.
Okay.
And neither have won recently. Just that
Yeah,
one
but
hasn't won in what, 30 years. But I think the further away we go from, what was it, 2008?
Right. Well, 2008, I think.
2009 or whatever it was, the
Right.
further we go away from that, I mean, look, I have students.
That's what I'm talking about.
I have students of mine who were not alive, when the last time, or infants, the last time Yankees won.
Right.
So, the further you go away from it, it becomes history.
I'm not gonna throw salt, but I am. When you think of
I love it. I love it.
when you think of New York baseball, what do you first think of?
Oh, you think of the Yankees, absolutely.
Of course.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
So
but that's because you are of a generation that has seen winning.
Right.
See, the difference between the Yankees and the Mets, besides the 25 championships that are as a difference, I would say that the Mets fans, we haven't made our culture isn't built on the fact that we won all these World Series. So we don't walk around acting like we are better than everyone else because we root for a team that has this history of winning World Series. So
as constructed, the Yankees don't either.
Well, no. Yankees. A lot of Yankee fans walk around as if they are somehow elite because they root for a team that has won all these championships. My point is, the further away they get from that, there will be old people talking in an old folks' home about Derek Jeter, and the kids today will be like, "Who?
When's the last time? Yeah.
And again,
it doesn't matter when the last time the Mets have won. The point
Oh, I didn't even get it out.
Wow.
No, I knew where it was going. But let me just say this.
You were
Because
correct.
our whole mystique is not built on that. And so you can have kids who are Met fans who don't walk around with this chip on their shoulders because of this winning that nowadays these Yankee kids have not seen.
So in other
The
words,
Mets don't
so
have
in
a
other words,
mystique.
right? So in other words,
but the
so in other
Yankees
words,
won't. What I'm
wait,
saying is the Yankees will be the Cowboys. The
so if
Cowboys
I'm,
of the
yeah,
'90s. Wait, let me
No,
just say
no,
this.
no.
The
We're
Hold
not
on.
doing
the
that.
Hold
cow.
We're
on.
not
No,
going to do
wait.
No,
that.
wait.
We're
Let
not
me
going to
let me
do
Hold
say
on.
that.
this.
Hold on.
We're not
Hold
going
on.
to
Let
do
me
Let
that.
say
me
this. Let me
hold on.
just finish
No,
this
let him
point.
finish the statement. Let him finish the
The
statement.
Cowboys of the '90s, when they won those championships, Cowboy fans and all of that, they believe America's team and we are this and that. It's been 30 years. Then the last Cowboy championship was on a VCR. So the kids today don't have that same connection to championship that the Yankees had in early 2000s because they haven't seen that. So the further you get away from that, they will become that legend. The
Whoa.
legend of
so
Stop.
winning.
No,
so in other
stop.
words,
Stop.
wait,
No,
Don't
wait.
stop,
Yeah.
So
bro. The Mets
if I
haven't
may
won since
interject,
'86, bro.
if I may
It doesn't
if I
matter.
may
We never walked
interject,
around acting like we
if
were
if
better
I may
because we had these
interject,
championships.
but I'm saying
Look,
if I may interject here
go
at
right ahead,
this
sir.
point
Go right ahead.
in time per se, the reason why the Mets fans don't walk around with the chip on their shoulder and the mystique of the championships or whatever is because you're accustomed to losing. You're
Right,
accustomed to
but the
losing,
point is,
and
when was
even
the
when you're
last
having
time
a
the
winning
Yankees have
season,
won?
when's the
When was
last
the
time the
last time
Mets
they?
won?
No. The point is about the Yankees. When was
But I'm
the
saying,
last time the Yankees
Right.
won?
okay,
If I have kids that are starting,
Wow.
listen. If I have kids that are starting high school now that were born in 2008, they don't know anything about Derek Jeter and the Yankees and A-Rod and all of those
who
those
knows
championship partners.
who knows about Darryl Strawberry and
It,
Doc Gooden and the coke
but you
and the
see, to
coke
be a Met,
in
but
the
you
locker
understand the
room
difference though.
and a
To be a
halftime.
Met fan,
Dude.
to be a Met fan, we don't have to base it
You
on
used to losing.
history.
You
We
used to
don't have
losing.
to go. We don't have to base it on history.
You're accustomed to losing. Okay, I got you.
It's not that
See,
we're accustomed to losing.
Yeah.
Yankee fans that are a certain
The
age are
only
accustomed to losing too.
see,
the only
see,
We
thing
haven't.
the only thing I
see,
remember is Mike
see.
Piazza getting the
Here's the
bat thrown at him by Roger
by,
Clemens.
by a
here's
That's what I
steroid
remember.
by a
That's the
steroid
last
faced
Met
pitcher.
memory I have. Oh, wait,
By
Carlos Beltran?
Okay, well,
Come on,
I
stop
do
it.
Oh
remember
my
being. I
God.
was at Yankee
Oh my
Stadium
God.
when Piazza hit a grand slam in the upper deck off of Roger Clemens.
But did they
I
win?
was there. Yes, well, they won that game that I was at.
That
Now,
game?
Yeah, so I'm saying
now.
if you want to count memories, I remember a steroid juiced up Roger Clemens throwing a piece of a bat at Piazza. You know why? Because Piazza was owning him. That's why he did it.
What?
Ouch.
Oh, absolutely,
Reg,
Piazza
Reg,
owns him.
Ouch.
Absolutely.
Reg,
Delusional.
Reg,
I'm not even
Reg.
delusional.
Why do,
So
why do you think he did it?
I'm not even
Why
going
do
to
you,
entertain this conversation.
why
Next
do you
exactly,
You know
topic.
what?
right?
You know
exactly.
Because the truth is uncomfortable.
The truth
That's
Right.
why
hurts.
you don't want to
The
entertain it.
truth hurts. And
Right.
here's the thing. No, hold on. No,
You
you
see
What
how
is
Yankee
the
fans.
ghost of Mark
You,
Cunningham right
exactly.
now?
do you wait? Hold up.
Exactly.
Let me say this. It says, why didn't the New York Yankees make a move at the trade deadline?
Thank
Nothing
you.
in there was about the Mets. Even
No.
when it was brought up about the
No.
Cowboys, you see
No.
how you want to bring the Mets
The
into it?
Exactly.
Because the
reason why,
only thing that makes Yankee fans feel better is Met misery.
no, the
When
reason
you
why I
don't have
brought it
when you
up,
don't have
the reason,
Oh,
championships.
the
When
reason
you
why I
don't have
brought it
that is
up,
not
championships to speak
true.
of. Oh,
the reason
absolutely.
why I brought it
True.
up, the reason why I brought it up is because the moderator and the host of the show, the moderator and the
See,
host tried to do an underhanded backhanded
this is where
move,
you're playing yourself.
Underhand
and
backhand.
This is
yeah,
where
yeah, and then
no,
try to David
no,
Copperfield it
no,
and be
no,
like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
no,
The Yankees
no,
Well,
and the
if he
Cowboys.
did,
no,
Like,
it came from the
then
inside because he said he was a
then
Yankee fan.
then
no.
I'm the
then
only
on
Met
top of
fan
it,
on here.
then
Exactly.
on top of it,
Exactly.
I'm the
then
only
on
Met fan
top
on
of
here.
it, then on top of it, we got
I'm
a
a Yankee fan.
we got
I'm
a
a Yankee
Mets
fan.
He's a
So
we
what are
got
you
Yankee
a
talking
fan.
about?
Mets fan giving us a manifesto of how long it's been since the Yankees have won.
Get out
When
of
the
here.
Mets, the last time the Mets won anything, was it like that was when like breakdancing was in?
The last time the
Wait,
Mets
wait,
won
wait.
anything, hip hop was
We
10.
we were
Okay, we
juniors in
got it.
high school when the
We
Mets
were
last
junior,
won.
Oh
yeah,
my
we were
We got
God.
juniors in high school. I was wearing bell bottoms.
Okay,
I was
well,
wearing bell
I
bottoms
was
and
21
shell top
years old.
Adidas.
I was 21 years old.
And shell
I
top
get it.
Adidas.
I get it. But do you understand
Oh,
that
and I
there is
had
a
every color Lee
generation?
jeans. I had
There's a
Lee jeans.
generation that's coming up that doesn't know anything about that Yankee lore.
And they still
They
wearing
haven't
Yankee
seen
gear.
it.
And they
Right,
still
because
wearing
they
Yankee
because
gear.
their
They're still
parents
going.
because their parents grew up with it.
See, again, the only reason I made that comparison is because what
You're a
2000. Well, whatever.
You're a
Now,
Mm,
See?
no.
You're a hater.
nah, say it.
See, here's the
Say
thing.
it with
I'm
your
not a
chest.
hater. I am not a hater.
Yes,
Because
you
I
are.
am a no. How am I a hater? I'm a Yankee fan my damn self. I'm being
No, you're not.
objective.
You're a Mets
Yes, I
fan.
am. No,
You're a Mets fan. You liar. You're a Mets fan. You're a Mets fan. You're a Mets
How you-
fan.
how
Yeah,
you
you're
gonna
a
tell me
Mets
what
fan. We don't want you. You're a
you are
Mets fan.
silly. You are
I-
silly, bro. You
I
are
have-
straight silly.
I have
You are
never
straight silly,
seen
dude.
I have never seen the elite that much worried about the bottom.
My
feeders.
God, this
I
is
just is not.
embarrassing.
Let me
What
be
are
a
you
Mets fan.
talking
This
about?
is
Let
As a-
me
as
be
a
a Mets
comparing-
fan.
as
and-
a
comparing
Yankee-
apples to
as a-
oranges right
As
now.
a Yankee fan, I am embarrassed. As a matter of fact, I'm embarrassed right now. I
Thank
am
you.
embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed
Reg,
for you. I'm
Reg,
embarrassed for
now
you.
all of a sudden, R is a Yankees fan.
I've been one. What are you talking about?
Oh, jeez.
You've been a Knicks fan too.
At one point,
At one point, yeah, he was.
Wait a
Was.
minute. Wait a minute.
Listen,
Wait.
Wow.
listen.
Flip flopper.
When the going gets rough for Yankee fans, they'll find a Met fan to pick
What
on.
you say? This
That's all.
dude nickname is Flipper?
Yankee fans are like that guy who had a hard day at work. He comes home and beats his kids because
Exactly.
he can't. So you find a Met fan,
Right.
and then you beat on the Met fan because
Right.
the Yankees aren't winning.
Exactly.
Mets-
Win
I
your
agree.
games. Win your games. Don't worry
I
about
agree.
what we're doing. Win your
What's your-
games.
What?
So now look how sensitive Mets fans
Wait,
are.
wait,
They can't
wait,
talk
wait,
about
The Mets,
You-
Yankees
wait,
fans.
I was quiet.
You see how quick
And
they
we
dumped the
riled you up.
grandpas of the league?
And then,
What?
and then they riled them up.
40-year-old
And then they riled
pitchers?
them up. Yeah. Then they riled them up.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
yes.
And
Now
then
tell
Dave-
me what that has to do with the heading that's
Yeah.
on there about the trade
Exactly.
deadline for the
Nothing.
Yankees.
Nothing.
You have yet to talk
And the
about
same
that.
thing you just said had nothing to do with what
Nothing to do-
you,
Right,
what
because
you
who-
talked about.
who
Just
introduced the Mets
attack the
into
poor
this conver-
Yankees. Everybody
who
wants to
introduced-
attack a winner. We
How?
attacked
How?
Tom Brady when he was winning.
How?
That's what we do.
No, that is
How?
I'm
How
not going to
do we
allow you to
attack-
do this.
how
This
is
is
it- thank you.
great. This is great. I want to say TV, but it's not.
Yeah.
But you see, who brought the Mets into this conversation?
The hater. The real hater.
deflection.
The
Who
hater.
did? Who
The
did?
hater. The
Who
real
did?
hater. The real
Red.
Stand
hater.
up. May
Reg.
the real
Reg.
hater please
Stand up. Stand up, hater.
I choose hate.
You choose
know
me.
that.
That's
We know
right.
that.
Well,
Apparently.
and
Apparently.
there it is.
I don't deny. I don't
The
deny.
Mets fan was quietly waiting
I
his
don't
turn.
deny. I don't deny.
What?
I don't deny. At any given point, I'm a Yankees fan,
We know that.
and the Mets are doormats of New York. They're the doormats. When people come to watch the Yankees play, they wipe their feet on the Mets.
What
Go
does
watch
that
the
have
Yankees.
to do with
Yeah,
their
exactly.
failure to make a move at the trade deadline?
And,
What-
and
what-
listen,
what's-
when you were a junior
They're
in
the
high
Yankees.
school, when you were a
Again, I
junior
already
in high
answered
school,
that question.
I
No, you
hope
didn't.
you
Yes,
know that
I
during
did.
the '80s, the Mets ran New York during that time, not the Yankees.
You may not have
Yeah,
liked
it was,
my
it was,
answer, but I
no,
answered it.
it was the coke, and it was the drugs.
No, it was the winning
it was-
because Yankee Stadium was a mausoleum
Yep, sparse.
during the '80s.
During the
Sparse.
80s.
Very much
Oh
so.
my!
Wow.
Very,
so-
why when
wait a
you
minute.
were a freshman,
80s,
sophomore, and junior in high school?
86. So that's 96,
I'm talking about during
2006,
that era.
2016.
I'm just,
So we're talking about over 30 years. Oh my goodness.
I'm just
So
telling you, during
we
that
need to
era,
make-
Yankee fans don't want to visit the '80s.
we need
No,
to make
They don't
we
want to
need to
remember the '80s.
we need to make the analogy of the Mets and the Cowboys because they both
Okay,
living in the
fine.
past.
You could
Fine,
when
you
the
could.
segment about the Mets comes up, then we could
You
talk
could.
about that. But right now,
Exactly.
this is about the Yankees and their failures.
Again,
Exactly.
the question was asked and answered.
What question?
What
was the
move? What
question?
move are you? What move would the Yankees actually make to make their team better? It's not going to happen.
Why wouldn't it
The
happen?
only thing they're going to do is
Why
get to
wouldn't
the
it happen?
playoffs.
Why
and
wouldn't it
lose.
happen? You got guys
What?
that are on
Yeah.
expiring contracts. Okay, they are going to free. They are going.
They're
to
going to
free
let that
agency.
shit expire. That's it.
I'm just saying.
Bye.
Still, so
Bye.
that's not an option to trade them. That's not an option to trade them.
Where is
Who
Don?
wants him?
You never know. He never. Your boy.
Well, you know what?
AK,
You know who may
hold
want
on,
him?
wait,
You know who
wait,
may want him?
no,
You know what? I
no,
got one
no.
team
Your
that may
boy.
want them.
No,
You
your
want to know
boy,
who want them? The
aka GM
Mets.
Cashman. GM Cashman didn't even. Your boy, the general manager, didn't even get on the phone and make an attempt to gauge interest in those players. So
Oh,
therefore,
my God.
your point
Nobody
is null
wants
and void.
them.
Doesn't matter.
There's no interest.
How does he know? He didn't put a call in. How does he know? How does he know?
Do you see how they play on the field?
It doesn't matter. It
Well,
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it does.
one of
Dave.
them had an excuse
Dave,
because
Who?
he hit the ball. He hit the bar before he played.
Dave, I expect
Leave that
more.
man alone now.
Oh,
I expect
yeah.
more from you. I expect this type of behavior from the host. I don't expect this type of behavior from you.
Well, if I, I reserve the right to defend myself.
right.
Basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
You know what I'm
blame you,
saying?
Dave. He
Some
suckered you in, Dave. It's okay.
Yeah,
I
he
suck
pulled
it. I
you
did
in.
not suck. Oh my
He pulled
god.
you in. He
You know
pulled
what?
pulled
You
you
know
in.
what? I as much as I hate to do this, let me go to this bullshit.
all right,
Okay.
here we go. Now
Now
we can talk.
go ahead. Exactly. Now you can talk shit. Okay.
With the
Again, with the
moves
moves
they
they
made.
made
Mhm.
at the trade deadline, New York Mets situation isn't as bleak at all. It really isn't.
All they
Again,
did was
It's
get rid
not
of the
worse.
high price pitchers that they paid money for. What the
that's
heck?
not all. That's not all they did. They got rid of a few players besides them. They got rid of like three.
They
three
got
or
rid
four.
of Canna,
Mhm.
Fam, and they had gotten rid of
David
Eduardo-
Robinson was in
Yeah, Robinson was even before them.
closer.
Escobar.
Yeah.
And so, how does that make them better?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
You know what?
It doesn't
does.
make them. It doesn't make them any.
It doesn't
worse.
make them. It doesn't make them better this year, or hell, even next year. But what it does do
Whoa,
is
whoa,
at
whoa,
least
whoa, 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 whoa!
Whoa,
Stop!
what?
Stop!
What?
Stop.
What?
You just said it doesn't make them better this year or
Yeah,
next
it
year.
doesn't. Or
So-
next year. That's
so-
what. Listen, I am taking the words from the general manager and
Right.
from the owner. They are not focused on this year or even next year to be in a
So-
position to wait. Hear me out. To compete for a championship. What is wrong with that? What they've
No.
done. What they've done is try to stockpile young talent to move forward on.
Yeah.
So they're managing your
compete.
So they're managing your expectations for the rest of this season as well as next season. Mets fans, we're gonna be losing. You know what it is. You know what it is. Next
Rebuild
season we're
mode.
probably gonna be losing. We're probably gonna be losing again next year.
So no.
Keep hope alive.
No,
Keep hope alive.
Here's the way I look at it.
Mhm.
At the trade deadline, they did not make any moves that are going to make them better this year or next year.
Right.
But we don't know what they plan on doing during the offseason as well.
Mhm.
And they also stockpiled chips. Not all those players may make it to
Right.
Citi Field,
Right.
but they have some chips to deal where they had a farm system that wasn't that strong. They strengthened it. So
Mhm.
I could ask the same question by the Yankees not making any moves. By the Yankees not making any moves, did they make themselves better for this year and next year?
So in other words, you're saying that they stockpiled potential.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. It's better than not having any potential.
So they stockpiled
Nothing
some
was good.
potential.
This year is dead.
Right.
This season is dead. We've all we've done the eulogy. We're just waiting for them to bury the body.
Well,
Right.
Okay.
I mean, this
I
is
get it.
around the same. This is nothing new for Yankees fans. Like you do this every year. You do this dance every year. It just so happens. Did the injury bug hit this year, or like what's the issue this year? What's the issue this year?
For Yankee
No,
fans? You said?
No, for Mets fans.
Oh,
What's
I
the
thought you
issue
said
this year?
Yankee fans. That's
You
why.
did
No,
say Yankees. But
No,
go ahead.
then I misspoke. What I'm
Mhm.
saying is, I mean, this is no different from any other year. So what's the excuse this
No,
year?
well, no. It's last year up until the last few weeks of the season, we were in first place,
Mhm.
and then the Braves just played. The Braves have played phenomenal baseball from like July on, and
Right.
the Mets couldn't fight them off.
Mhm.
But going into that season, we had high expectations. It's not like every year we don't think that we have a chance. I know that this year we're dead because whatever happened, I from the start before the season with the World Baseball Classic when they lost Diaz, it just the season just seemed like it had a black cloud over it. It happens from time to time. So I'm being a realist about that. I'm saying that the moves where they currently stand, I don't see that they're going to be that much better next year. Now they could also have, I mean, Lindor and Alonso. You know, they're not hitting as great. I mean, the home run numbers are there. You know, a lot of players have underperformed as well.
Right.
You know, so things could happen. There are reasons why they are in the place they are in. So the point is, the moves that they made didn't do anything to make them any better for next year. But we don't know what's going to happen during the offseason. And they make moves. Just like right now, where the Yankees are standing, unless they come to life, which is possible, and make a run, they're not going to be any good this year either. But where they are, do I expect the Yankees in the offseason to stand pat? I don't. Now, if they do, then there's another issue. But I think that the Yankees are going to definitely do something to improve themselves. So where we stand on August the 3rd is not hopefully where in December when I'm looking at the construction of the new roster for 2024. I'm hoping that's not where we are.
Okay,
But
this is what's
I'm being a realist.
this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to happen.
Right.
We say Cash. We did start off with Cashman is on a hot seat, right?
Right.
Why are we going to fire him now?
He's always.
Why are we going to fire him now? There's no need to fire him now. You fire his ass at the end of the season and you start fresh. It's okay.
He's always on the hot seat.
Yeah.
He always somehow survives.
But I think the run is over.
Pulls a rabbit
the run
out
is
of
over
the
after
hat.
this season.
You never know.
You never know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run is over after the
You
season.
never know.
I
One quaalude and they love him again. You know?
Wait, what?
He just pulled the line from Scarface.
You know that's how it is. You know that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know that's how it is with Cashman.
That's crazy.
Everybody be standing outside with pitchforks and torches talking about, get rid of Cashman, get rid of Cashman.
Is that because of the expectations every year? Obviously, I think it is. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the job.
Exactly.
Zach Wilson threw the ball down the field, y'all.
Oh, I forgot that was on.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever. Oh, that's right. The Jet game. I forgot. Yeah.
All right.
Huh?
He did it. He threw it down the field.
He did it.
Dang.
Is it a completion or did he just throw the ball down the field?
No, it was completion.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Good for him.
Aaron Rodgers might be in trouble.
All right. You need to stop right now. Yeah, it better be.
That's why we laugh.
Exactly. So again, like I said, man, I just think that this situation isn't as bleak as some might perceive it to be. As a matter of fact, from my understanding, that they got pretty much praise for their moves and whatnot. You know, believe it or not. Some people might be like, no, I don't think so. No. It's true.
No, you got rid of those high price contracts that probably never should have happened in the first place.
Well,
so they corrected that wrong. I will give them kudos on that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to wait and see what happens. It's rebuild mode. Let's be honest.
Right.
Rebuild mode.
I mean, it might not be.
I mean, you from what they did last year to how they finished at the end of the season, you think you would build on that? No, it just kept snowballing, into this season. Yeah,
some guys underperformed. Okay, you still have strong blocks.
A lot of them underperformed.
You still got strong blocks in Alonso. You still got a strong block in Lindor. You still got a strong what's that guy? Sterling Marte. You got some pieces on that team still.
Yeah, he's been dealing with the injuries.
You do.
They've got some promising young guys that are already up.
Right.
You know,
You
whether or
understand?
not they continue, I don't know. But
Hey,
it's not doom and gloom.
No, it
oh,
isn't.
it's not. You
And
need
I think
about
that's
4
what he
Dela Cruzes, and then you're right back there.
yeah, well,
That kid
Mm.
is
yeah,
outrageous.
Oh, I love that
he's
guy. Oh,
ridiculous.
yeah, I love him.
Yeah,
I love him.
he's
I,
ridiculous.
I wish he was here in New York. I love that guy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That
Which team?
well, he's talking about the Yankees. That short porch out there in
Oh, forget
Yankee
about
Stadium.
it.
Yeah, what is it
Taylor,
like 250, 300 feet down there?
like 314 or something
Yeah,
like that.
something like-
It's ridiculous. I can hit it one. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know. All right, so let's do a little moving
So
on. We're gonna
moving right along.
moving right along and get off the Mets, get off the Yankees. Let's get on the New York Giants specifically. Let's get on your boy quarterback Daniel Jones. Is he going to continue to progress this season with the team facing a tougher schedule?
Nope.
Did he progress last year?
Yes, believe it or not, he did.
He didn't turn the ball over as much.
No, he didn't. That's why it was called.
Because he ran more.
He did.
He ran more, which is not what a quarterback is supposed to be doing. So
Right.
instead of doing his job, he ran with the football.
He got Saquon Barkley's money. That's what he got.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
okay. No.
Again.
So if you asked him to do his job.
So are we talking about progressing as far as throwing the ball?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Now listen. I can say this with ultimate confidence. I know last year, hell, practically every year he's been in the league. Do I want to count on him throwing the ball to win a game? Absolutely not. He is Eli 2.0. Okay. Eli, though he won 2 Super Bowls, yeah, but he was a mediocre quarterback. Period. End of story. Anybody want to debate me? Feel free. Matter of fact,
you said mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre. Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm saying he's less than mediocre.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Are you giving him too much credit?
Wow.
Okay.
Well, he cut down on the turnovers. Let's look at the positive.
That's because he didn't throw the ball.
Okay, well, yeah.
So you don't throw the ball. If
it's not there, okay. If it wasn't there for Eli was still going to throw it regardless. Mm-hmm. This guy can actually pull the ball down and actually run the freaking ball.
And well, he could
actually. He didn't hurt the Giants last year. We can honestly say he didn't hurt the Giants.
No, he didn't.
Okay, so if he can carry that over into this season, yeah, even with the tougher schedule, whatever. There was a lot of teams. That didn't want to see the Giants, and everybody knows this.
How many seasons has he been in the league?
This is 5 years.
Fifth, right?
This is going to be his 5th year.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, he did have a lot of turmoil in his first couple of seasons. So
first 4 years as a quarterback, he still doesn't read the field well. He still holds on to the ball way too many times, and we got to be careful with putting the ball so low. It's like the season before, he was turning the ball over because he was getting sacked and like fumbling the ball. So now you're actually doing what you're supposed to do and not fumbling the ball, and we're giving him kudos because he's not fumbled the ball away or thrown interceptions at pivotal points in the game.
Well, you know what? Well, that is progress.
That's progression.
But I'm saying the bar is set so low. The bar is set so low.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm gonna interrupt on you for a second. I gotta tell you, from what we heard last year from these broadcasters during these games, you wouldn't think that.
Oh yeah,
you wouldn't think that.
Well, yeah.
The
eye test tells you different.
Yeah, I remember watching quite a few games where it was just like, we in it, and then I gotta send that text. Then I gotta send that angry text. That angry text was like, what? Where was he throwing that? Like, what's going on?
Right,
And then,
right,
and
right.
then it'd be like two fumbles, and then a turnover because he held on to the ball too, or he didn't read the field and he threw the ball, and then somebody came over and got it and ran. Or we lose the game like 7-3 because we just can't score.
Right.
We just
Well,
can't score. Or we lose the game to a team that we should have won against because we just have a quarterback that's inept with moving the ball and doesn't have an arm, can't read the field. Yeah. But you are correct. If you listen to what the commentators were saying,
Mhm.
it was like he was the next coming. Like it's Tom Brady, then it's him.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then
Pretty
it's
much.
him. And
Right.
it was like I don't know what they seeing. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's like my expectations were really, really low last year.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, well, you didn't turn the ball over. You didn't throw the ball. That's why you didn't turn it over. And you ran forward instead of running into the pack and getting sacked and fumbling the ball. So that's how low the bar is set at this
Right.
stage with this dude.
All right.
After
Well,
4 years.
if a drunk can get from the gutter to the sidewalk, that's
progress.
progression. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
well, let's be honest. That's one of the hardest positions in football to play, and you do have to learn the freaking position.
Some
Yeah.
guys,
And his learning curve is not that high, but is getting there.
Well,
All right. So
The
by
Giants-
year 10,
mhm.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
yeah, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yeah, so at this rate, by year 10, he should be able to complete a 15-yard
Yeah.
pass.
he'll be
consecutive-
serviceable.
Yeah. He'll
So-
be back up.
So okay. What's this young kid's name? This speedy wide receiver rookie that he's been trying to work have a connection with. And
Oh, the one that they posted about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This young kid. You got Darren Waller being brought over. Listen, you never know, man. You never know. We might see more progression from this guy. You know, he's got a few more weapons.
Well, speed doesn't help you if you've got to slow down to catch the ball. Because if he's underthrowing you can't. He's not hitting them. They got to come back to the ball. Then defeats the purpose.
For sure. But I didn't think his arm was that weak.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying that he's not on target.
Well, let's just hope the receivers get open. Let's start with that. Okay. Let's hope that the offensive line can hold defenders off his back.
Well, that's true too.
Listen, you have two safety valves.
It's a lot on it's a lot on him, but there's other parts of the offense that
I agree.
I agree. That have to come into play too. Listen, I can't throw the ball on my ass. Can't do that. Can't throw the ball on my back. Can't do that. Can't throw the ball running for my life. Can't do that.
You got three safety valves. This guy's got three safety valves. You got Waller. You've got another tight end, Bellinger, who's very good tight end as well. And you got Saquon. Those should be your three safety valves. Seriously.
Some guys are just not that good. This is just the bottom line. Some guys are just not that good. They weren't good. They're just not that good. It's like Baker Mayfield. Just not that good.
Gosh.
Daniel Jones. Just not that good.
It's the hype around these guys for me. I mean, Baker Mayfield.
I don't know that contract that he signed. I don't know. He might be all right.
See, exactly. No, you're laughing. I'm serious. I'm taking that serious, man.
So,
you never know.
So we're gonna be having another conversation once the season starts. Do you think he was overpaid? Is he worth the money? Like, what can we get?
No.
What can we get? And it's like, you basically bid against yourself. There's no market in any other team. He's a backup. He's a second string backup in any other team.
So I'll pose this question. I think Dom said it last week, if I'm not mistaken.
What's that?
What was the alternative? What was the alternative? If you don't sign this dude, who are you going to get? Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, Tyrod Taylor. They didn't have a choice in the matter. let's just call it what it is. They didn't have a choice in the matter.
Not a choice. They just decided, as the Giants normally do.
What
They decided
choice
to
did
go.
they have?
They decided to
I'm
go with the
curious.
All-American. They decided to go with the All-American look. That quarterback. That's who they decided to go with because, I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist and I'm not the smartest guy on the line here. But if I look at all of the quarterbacks, like where that position is going to guys who can do it all. Guys who can throw, guys who can run, guys who can read the field, guys who can throw outside of the pocket. And that's a certain genre. That's a certain genre. And all of the teams that are on the upward curve have those types of quarterbacks. And it just seems like we just stuck in this phase where it's like, no, we gotta have a certain type of quarterback. He's gotta look a certain way, he's gotta be the all-American,
that's it
guy.
right
And
there.
it's like, like that's not where the league is going. Like that's not where the league is going. And it's like it's only getting worse for those guys. It's only getting worse.
So you're saying, let me just be 100 with it. Okay. So you're saying that the New York Giants, their ownership, their management, just want to see a white quarterback.
Basically.
Pretty much. Prototypical. Like back a little further back in the day, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes,
That's what they want to see.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not against you guys. Trust me. I think what Bishop said is pretty much on point. And if that's going to continue to be the case for the management, then it's not going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? At MetLife Stadium, when it comes to the Giant game being played.
Yeah.
You
Unless
understand?
they can find that next Tom Brady guy,
Mm-hmm.
or the next Drew Brees guy, or the next
Pat Mahomes.
Peyton Manning, or whatever, guys that can throw on the move, because that's a dying breed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dying breed. Those types of quarterbacks that hit guys in stride and don't have to, have like the strongest arm, but it's like that's a dying breed. And then like they sit back in the pocket. Nah, you got to be able to do it all. You got to be exciting.
Right.
You got to be able to be a threat running, be a threat reading it, be a threat with the arm.
Right.
You got to be a triple threat. And it's like, it's kind of far and few in between. You can't sit back in that pocket anymore.
And obviously Daniel Jones is not that guy like that.
No.
Obviously.
Not even close.
Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna see.
But this is why you got to play to your quarterback strengths. Let's look at Jalen Hurts. Okay, perfect example. Who saw him doing this coming out of Alabama? Nobody on this panel thought that. Nobody.
No.
Okay, so now Philadelphia is playing to his strengths.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got to have some strength. In order for the team to play to your
strength. Let's start first of all with Eagles, the offensive line. Nobody is sacking this dude.
No.
Jalen Hurts is not back there running for his life.
No.
And they have receivers that get open. Same thing. Total opposite of what Daniel Jones had for however many years. For the 40 years he's been here.
Dude, it's not the excuse is no. If you can
it's
throw
not
the
an
ball,
excuse. It's a fact.
If you can throw the ball, you can throw the ball. That's the bottom line. Eli Manning had one of the weakest arms. Eli Manning couldn't run. He had 2 left feet. But
he had a better line than what Daniel Jones had.
But he killed you with 5 and 10-yard passes. He got rid of that ball. 5 and 10-yard passes. He had 5 and 10-yard pass you to death. It's like, yo, you know what? At the end of the game, he done thrown the ball like 60 times. 5 and 10-yard passes, and we won the game. The strong suit was the defense, but his consistency. So it's like, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
Consistently,
you can't just put it out there just like that.
You knew what you were gonna get every single game.
Yeah,
you knew what you were gonna get.
Yeah,
if the team,
obligatory interception, exactly.
No, but Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones, how many interceptions? How many obligatory interceptions?
He followed Eli's. He followed.
Nah,
Yes, he did.
Eli Manning. How many championships Eli got?
Two.
Two. Defeat a 1-1 against an undefeated team. So he showed up when he was supposed to show up. He was consistent enough.
He showed up, or the defense and a miraculous catch showed up.
He had to throw the ball.
Miraculous catch.
He had to throw the ball. He had to throw the ball in order for that miraculous
Luck
catch.
played a part in that whole. Listen, and I'm a Giants fan. Yo, that had to have been like the luckiest thing ever to ever happen, bro. The Manningham catch was lucky.
Was shining down on the Giants quarterback and the
would
Giants.
Would you say something like that is even possible with Daniel Jones?
No.
How many times has he even thrown the ball over 15 yards?
I'm sure he's done it, Bishop. I'm sure he's
done it.
I don't know how many times.
And not an interception or hit the receiver. I think I can count in the last like 3 seasons, I think I can count maybe like 4 or 5 times where he's actually read the field and thrown the ball to the open receiver over 15 yards. Any other time, it's like looking left, looking right, looking left, sack. Looking left, looking right.
I don't know if I agree with
interception.
I don't know if I fully agree with that.
Yeah. The only thing I know is I've never seen him throw the ball beyond 15 yards with any level of consistency.
Okay. I don't think he watched
you have to have time to throw the ball over 15 yards with consistency. Bishop.
You got 3 seconds. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Get rid of that ball.
Well, you need to work on that offensive line for him.
By the time you make those 3 steps backwards, 1,000, 2, 1,000, the ball should be coming out. It should be coming out.
Okay.
You should be making the decision. 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds. Somebody's touching you. Somebody's touching you.
We need you at training camp, bro.
Oh man.
This is what all the other. This is what either that or I'm getting out of Dodge. You got to catch me. I'm getting out of Dodge. You got to catch me.
All right. Well, like I said, the season's coming up next month, so we'll see how this pans out for the New York Giants.
We'll be having that conversation,
I don't see any more than 6 wins, so.
Yeah.
What? Nobody still answered the question. What was the alternative? There wasn't any.
There's always an alternative.
There should be. Exactly.
There's always an alternative.
That's
always an alternative.
That's on the management. It should have been. You can't tell me different.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you because that's bad management if you don't have any other alternative.
Exactly. Come on, I don't buy that shit. I'm sorry.
Like all these other quarterbacks out here, and this is the only one that's available for your team.
Exactly.
The only one, right? Okay.
I don't buy that.
Name me a quarterback that was available.
As I said, you can say, okay, well, you could say Jameis Winston, then you could say, well, he wasn't this or he wasn't that. You could say Cam Newton. Well, Cam Newton doesn't play football anymore. You could say there's a bunch of guys that you could say the Giants had an opportunity to get him, but that's not what they wanted. That's not what they wanted.
Right.
That's not what they wanted.
So
it's like Jameis Winston can throw the ball. Jameis Winston can throw the ball. Put him in the right situation, he can be successful.
And what situation would that be?
Put him in the right situation, he can be successful too.
Yeah, the system.
Yeah.
In the right system.
Okay, so he's been under this coach how many years?
Okay, so we're gonna say
I'm asking. Answer the question.
It's the line.
Answer the question.
It's everything.
Oh, wait,
everything.
We can answer the question. Brian Daboll, that was his rookie season as a coach.
Okay, and he got better. A new system in place, right?
No, he stopped throwing the ball.
Oh my God.
He stopped throwing the ball.
And to Bishop's point, he really didn't have to throw the ball because you had a guy named Saquon Barkley running the ball with him. You understand, carrying most of the burden of the offensive load during the first part of the season. Was he not?
Absolutely.
The season before that too. And that's why he was getting hurt. And then it's like, okay, so now you just got 2 runners. And when they stopped Saquon Barkley, they stopped him,
Stop.
and then the Giants. Then you just had to sit there and watch the excruciating, painful Giants game because they had no other offense, no other offensive threat. He could run the ball as many times as he want. It's like we're not winning the games. We're not winning.
So what's your prediction for the Giants this season then?
6 wins.
I predict more of the same ineptness at that position. Maybe somebody else will step up and, do they have more running backs? Maybe somebody else will step up and maybe they will divide the load between Saquon and whoever else. But I expect more of the same because it's not like the line is getting any slower.
How many wins? How many losses?
It's not like those defensive lines are getting any slower.
Oh, I said 6 wins. How many wins you say?
I'm saying 500.
Okay.
8 and 8.
Well,
7 and 9.
7 and 9.
I'm saying like 500. I'm saying like 500 because they're gonna play some crappy teams too.
Okay.
And I think we'll win those games.
Do you think they're gonna win any games in division?
We may beat the Cowboys because the Cowboys tend to play to the level of the competition. They tend to play to the level of the competition, so it's kind of like it's like two bumps fighting.
Right.
Oh God.
It's like two bumps fighting. It's like it depends on what day it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot.
All right.
But
So
there's gonna be some games.
6 wins, 8 wins. Dave, you said 7 and 9.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go 10 and 6.
Oh
wow.
All right. I hope you're right.
Wait, don't you mean 10 and 7 because it's 17 games?
Yeah.
It's 7. Wow.
Yeah.
11 and 6.
Oh, you went up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
I might want to take a little wager on that.
Exactly. Same here.
10, 6, and 1.
So yeah, let's take a wager.
One of those games is gonna be 0-0.
Yeah, let's take a wager on that, Reg. Spend some of that sanitation money real quick.
Listen,
yeah,
you got to talk to my daughters first.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, forget it then. Forget it.
Whatever.
If you could get a nickel from them, we good.
You barely have lunch money for yourself.
Wow, man.
Thank you very much, Dave. Absolutely.
Yep.
Wow, you ate last week.
That's right. That's
you
right.
think?
They said pick something up on the job.
Oh man, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are my best friend.
We see.
Not even the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was like, pick up some of your work.
That's what I'm saying.
Pick up some of your work.
You see, Ray out there. What? I can't believe they threw this away.
Exactly.
You think?
Wow.
It ain't that bad. It's not that bad. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. I can get peanut butter and jelly, dog.
This is a half a mocha latte. This is still good.
Oh no. Reg don't do Starbucks.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say you don't do the dumpster, but you don't do Starbucks.
Wow. No, y'all can keep that.
I don't. You know what? I don't do Starbucks either.
Nah, same here.
Yeah.
I bet you if you're thirsty and you're hungry, you would.
Nope, I'm good.
That's all right. I'll pass fine.
I'll pass. No.
I'll pass my damn self. Yo, let me get into this next thing. This is not even sports related, but let's talk about it. Your boy, the New York City mayor, Eric Adams, states that there's no more vacancies in the city for more migrants. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Listen, I'm tired of this shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Matter of fact, I think, and I was just saying this the other day, I think I need to seriously run for some type of office. I'll start small. Because I can't deal with this. I just can't. I work very near the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, which is on East 45th Street, by the way, close to Madison and I think Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's right there, right across from Grand Central. And I passed by one day. I saw with the barricades and the bags laid out, and I'm looking. I'm like, I didn't even know what that was for a second.
Yeah, you thought it was the line for the new Jordans.
Something. Something going on. And then as I'm continuing to walk west, I see the sign. I see the New York City buses. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. It's enough, man. It's enough. And for this guy to even say that, that's a sign of giving up. You're not even fighting. You're not even fighting. You understand? To get this shit resolved. You know? And it's embarrassing. You know, I know this is Democrat and yeah, give us your, it's gotta end. It's gotta end. I would definitely push the president, whoever. We can't take any more people. We have our own issues here with our own citizens. You understand? We have our own. It's enough. I'm tired of setting people up with $200 a night hotels. I'm tired of them getting Obama phones or Biden phones or whatever you want to call them phones.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
So,
And I'm not, hold on. And I'm not against helping others. But all I'm saying is, can we clean up our own backyard first? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What is wrong with that?
No, absolutely.
Nothing's wrong with
Absolutely
Nothing's
nothing.
wrong
The
with it, but it's
statement-
not going to happen
the statement
because
that you
Why
made.
can't-
cleaning up our backyard doesn't benefit them.
So you first, we had this conversation before,
Mhm.
and number one, somebody's making the decision that it's more profitable to
Thank you.
open these hotels to migrants, set up these migrant camps and these migrant centers or whatever.
Right.
These decisions are political decisions that were made that millions and millions of dollars are being invested in. I remember when New York was trying to get the Olympics and they built all of those hotels by LaGuardia Airport. Those hotels are still there. They were using them for COVID. So again,
right.
yeah, for when you needed to be segregated from, like, if you were positive. So
Right.
my thing is, if you need hotel space, you have the outer boroughs that can accommodate these very easily. Very easily. You don't have to use the main, like the Manhattan and the Brooklyn and these areas. You don't have to. I mean, unless they have them filled up, and I haven't heard anything about those hotels being filled. And it's like, okay, even places by the airport, it's like, okay, well, if you need to make accommodations, you can set up those centers or whatever by the airport. You housing and feeding them anyway. So why do you have? But because somebody's getting paid millions of dollars to use these facilities and in these places, that's why those decisions are made. Now we have homeless people. We have people who are mentally ill. We have a host of other things in America, not just in New York, but across this country. And the same people who are standing on the platforms and the podiums and railing against illegal immigrants and this and that are the same people who are profiting from them staying in these hotels and all of these other places. So it's kind of like when the dude from Florida or Texas ships migrants from Florida or Texas to New York and so forth and so on. It's a money grab. It's a money grab on one end. It's a money grab on the other end, because these people are just pawns in this money making scheme. So again, I can't knock someone who is willing to risk life and limb to better themselves and working menial jobs to help support their families. Now, the people, once again, the people who are railing on these platforms and on these forums and on Fox and all these other places, if you would go back into their genealogy 2-3 years, 2-3 generations, 2-3 generations, you would see maybe 4 generations, they were the immigrants 4 generations ago. So these are the same people that are railing against the immigrants now. Now I can't knock anybody who's trying to better themselves. Can't
Right.
knock that. But the decisions that are being made are not based on these people coming here. The decisions that are being made is because people who are established here decided that it's more profitable for them to take care of or house the immigrants than it is the homeless veterans or the people with mental illness and so forth and so on. That's why when you get these Ukrainian immigrants who come here that haven't paid anything into the Social Security, haven't paid anything into anything, they get housing, they get money, they get all sorts of stuff. And it's not because, no, they don't want to help people here. It's more profitable. If they made it profitable for them to help veterans, then guess what? There'd be no veterans on the street.
That's true.
If they made it profitable to run mental health facilities, there wouldn't be, like all of this craziness going on in the subways.
Right.
So you can't really, when you look at the situation, it's layered. It's layered. And
It
my
is.
thing
It is layered.
you
Okay.
can't just really use a broad brush and say, hey, we need to do this, hey, we need to do that. The same people who are talking on one side against it are the ones that are making a boatload of money on the other side, because
Right.
they're behind the decisions to put these people in these hotels. They're behind these decisions to set up these centers, these care centers for migrants and so forth and so on. So
Okay. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
I hear you. But again, I'm one of those guys that's railing, and I don't have a boatload of money.
again, so how do you come to the resolution to say, if this man is willing to risk his life, risk everything, risk his life just to come here and work a menial job so that he can send back a few dollars to help feed his family? You can't do it. You can't do it.
Nope. Absolutely not.
And it's like,
Absolutely not.
Excuse me.
you're not taking in this whole idea that they're taking jobs from us. I'm not picking strawberries.
Yeah.
They're not taking them from us. Those are the jobs that a lot of people feel is beneath them and don't want to do. So they're not taking the jobs against,
and
taking the jobs from us.
They'll do it gladly. Because
Exactly.
I'm just trying to feed my family back home because I got no other opportunity to feed my family back home. So I can't knock the hustle of somebody who says,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Bishop. But I also think the whole concept of the taking of the jobs, I think you have to also look at how much are these jobs paying, because they'll take jobs for salaries that we know that we can't sustain ourselves and our families on. So it's not. There are a lot of jobs that people look down on, but if they were paying a lot more money, or at least money that people could take care of a family and pay rent in the city for, they might not look down on them as much. So I think that's a factor. But I think the bigger problem for me is, I agree with you, Art. I mean, I'm sorry, Bishop was saying about people coming and working hard and coming for a better life. I wish the entire country was open to that. I mean, the fact that somebody has to cross the border into Texas and wind up in New York because nobody else takes them or wants them, I think that's a problem.
that's a political stunt. That's a political stunt.
It's a political stunt, yeah. But that stunt has landed in our backyard, and because we are a sanctuary city, we're not going to turn them away. So that's why they're all coming here in Chicago and some places like that. But I'm saying that if the sentiment, this country was built on immigration, the idea of immigration, and other places across this country, they celebrate the fact that they have this diverse history that has helped build up the country. You know, in the Midwest, it's the the heavily, Polish population in like Wisconsin, and they name the towns, and the foods are there and all that stuff. It's all about the immigration. But I wish that this country, across the land, I mean, there's 50 states. If we had it where people could spread it out some, where a few cities, not even state, because we're talking about New York City, because they're trying to even get places in Long Island and upstate to open up. It's
Right.
coming to New York City, and it is affecting. You already have a homeless population. You already have, like you talked about,
Mhm.
the veterans. And so
Mhm.
now they get displaced, and it probably is because of what you're saying, Bishop, about the money factor of it. The whole thing is a mess, and fingers can be pointed at multiple people.
Yep.
Well, and like I said, I would. A lot of the folks who are railing and talking about immigrants this, immigrants that. I'm not talking. I'm talking about the politician.
Yeah,
If you go back 3, 4 generations, you were the potato eaters.
that's right.
You were
Mhm.
the grease balls.
That's
You
right.
were you were the this, you were the that.
Yep.
So it's kind of like it's really ironic how you turn around, and it's only certain immigrants.
Yeah.
It's not
Yes.
all of them. It's only
Yeah.
certain immigrants that we have in the last, I'd say, 5 to 6 years that we've demonized.
I'm
We've
about to use the same
demonized.
word.
It's only
Hundred
certain
percent.
immigrants that we've
100%.
demonized, and it's kind of like, wow.
We've
I
never
try to,
demonized Eastern
right.
European.
I try to, try to look at people and see the humanity. Like, what is this person actually? What is the person's intention for coming here? The person's intention is to come in here so I can work and help feed my family back home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you have somebody who's willing to sacrifice whatever it takes just to get here for an opportunity, and then when you get here, you're demonized, you're shipped all over the place, and it's made to where, and this whole idea, like when they separated the kids from their parents,
Yeah.
and then they deported the parents, and then the
Yeah.
kids were left here, and then they
Yeah.
discovered that they had the kids out in South Dakota working in meat processing plants, had
Mm.
kids working on meat processing plants and doing dangerous jobs, but those were some of those migrant kids.
Yeah.
Where the rest of those kids at?
Yeah.
Who made the decision? Where the rest of those kids at? And it's like that's inhumane. It's inhumane.
It's absolutely 100%. And also, it's the hypocrisy of the
Yep.
United States, because a lot of those places across the world are unstable because of the United States.
Well,
You know,
well,
so you
Mhm.
create, because people in an ideal situation, they're very happy where they are.
uh-huh.
In an ideal situation, they want to be where they are. That's their home. That's where their history, their culture is. But when you make those areas, unstable due to U.S. economic greed and other things, capitalism that's going on, across the world, and destroyed societies, and then the people want to get out, and then you demonize them.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah,
so
and it's like it's really become like this megaphone of the bad migrants, the bad immigrants, and this and that, because
yeah,
we need a villain,
right.
and we need a
America needs
villain,
a villain.
we need a bad guy, and it's like, okay, well, we'll blame this person, we'll blame that person, we'll
Hmm.
blame these race of people, we'll blame this race of people, and it's just like, nah. And it's like we always need to feel like we're better than somebody.
Yes, and then we also, America will crap on its own citizens, and then create this villain to
Yep.
say, well, it's because of them. I mean, that's what Hitler did in Nazi Germany.
Yep.
They were struggling, and then
Yep.
he created the villain of, well, it's the Jews.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, it's the same thing, but we're supposed to be better than that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm real careful. I mean, I don't. I mean, everybody has a right to their opinion about
Hmm.
this and about that. But if you just take a step back and ask yourself, if for if for some stroke of luck or some blessing you
Hmm.
weren't born on the other side
Yeah.
to experience the hardship, then you would be the person trying to come here for a better way of life, to
Maybe,
wash
maybe.
dishes, work in a bodega, whatever the menial job is, because
Hmm.
it's not like they're coming here and making millions of dollars. Let's just be honest. It's
Right.
just for survival. It's
Hmm.
just for survival. And
Um. Okay. 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 Go ahead.
and you I can't knock somebody who is willing to, when you say like I'm willing to risk everything because I got nothing, and I'm putting everything on the line because I know I have to feed a family back home. I know I have a wife and kids home and I can't do it here. So I got to figure out something else. And then you demonize that person. It's like, yeah, I'm not with that.
So, let me ask you this:
Yeah.
do you take issue with the immigrants, the migrants, or do you take issue with the circumstance that they're in that put them in the position that they have to do
You
this?
know what? I would probably say a little bit of both.
Okay, so
If I
let's unpack that then. So, what is
okay.
the issue that you have with the migrant?
Well, you know what really kills me? Again, I'm not against people getting help. I know it may sound crazy. I'm saying it in one way, and the other way I'm saying it's got to stop. What really has to stop is these politicians that are raking millions of dollars on this whole situation. I think at some point somebody in Washington, a higher power, has got to put this to an end. It's got to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I know about special interests. I get that, but fuck all that. We need to end this shit.
So,
We
what
need
specifically needs to end?
this whole profiting off the misery.
Okay, so if they didn't profit, how would that help the migrant? They would still be in the same position.
Well, listen. I mean, at some point, there's no vacancies, man. Come
There's,
on.
there's,
There's no
there's
vacancies.
no room in
That's
the
it.
inn. There's no
There's
room in the
no room
inn.
in the end. That's it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So when
It
they
is what it is.
so when they crossed the border, were they? You think they were trying to get to New York, or they were just trying to get into America?
They were just trying to get to America, and it just so happens that this is a sanctuary state, New York. Listen, they bust them in from Texas. They bust them in from Florida. You know
So
what I'm saying?
I think so that's the mindset. If I could get into the mindset of,
Mhm.
a migrant and his, the family, they're not they don't care anything about the politics of all of this.
They don't.
They're looking in terms of survival, and they believe that there are better options on this side of the border, and this is what they're trying to figure it out once they make it across the border. If they can figure out a way to get across the border,
I
that's
mean,
half the battle.
okay,
So I
okay.
think in their mind, they're not coming here to add to an already overpopulated situation. That's not what they're thinking. They're thinking about
But that's what they're
America
doing.
is. That's what they.
But that's what they're
That's what
doing.
that. Yeah, but that's not their
According
fault.
to who? According to who? Because they keep making this thing like this major political point, like the migration over the border is at the lowest rate that it's been in like years. So it's not like we are when they said, oh, the last administration's uh, referendum or the law that they passed was going to expire, and they put all of these military at the borders because they were saying millions and millions of people will be coming into the country daily and so forth. It's hourly. They're going to be millions coming across. Like there's not going to be anybody else in the world. Everybody's going to be trying to migrate into the U.S. This
Right.
whole fear factor, and the time came. The law whatever it was, it passed. It phased out, and nothing. It was a nothing burger. But all throughout the news, they were like, "Yeah, we need to have extra this. We need to have extra that. We need to have
Yeah.
extra military." So the dude in Texas put extra military at the borders and so forth and so on. So it's just this whole boogeyman mentality. And I got
Yes.
to tell you, it's like the money that these guys are spending, because it costs money to fly these immigrants to another
Mhm.
state. It costs money to bus these immigrants to another state.
Yes.
Somebody's footing the bill.
Yeah.
Somebody's footing the bill. Now, if you take a step back, and it's like, so in Florida, after the donkeys started sending those immigrants to New York, then they started experiencing tornadoes and or inclement weather and so forth, and they had a massive cleanup that had to be undertaken. A massive cleanup. So don't you think, this is just me brainstorming here, don't you
Mhm.
think it would have been helpful to have a workforce or people willing to work and help with the cleanup, and you don't have to worry about paying them hundreds and millions of dollars? Don't you think that that would have been beneficial for you?
That,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, you can get, that would have been extremely beneficial for you. Or when you're having all of these inclement weather events, where you're having all of these like tornadoes and all of this other stuff. Hey, you know what? You guys need you guys need a workforce. You guys need somebody to help clean up. Instead of shipping these guys to New York, we'll ship them here. You just got to worry about finding them a place to stay, and
Yeah.
they'll help you with the cleanup. They'll help you. You know what I'm saying? And
That's true.
boom, problem solved.
Because it barely even snows up here anymore, so it's not like we can get them a shovel.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, these these political stunts and all this other stuff. It's just like, it's just for attention.
And also, Bishop, the immigration issue didn't just start. I mean, they've been talking about immigration and people crossing the border for decades.
Right.
But when you had, the 45th president, and he built a lot of his whole political platform on this: I'm going to build this wall. I'm going to,
Mm,
and put all that in people's heads. So now it became like Bishop said, the boogeyman, because now it's a big all over the place. Well, we've got to close off the borders and do all these things. Did they finish the wall? Did Mexico pay for it? Is the check lost, or what happened? But here we are now into another president's term, and now it's this hot item.
that's
You,
because
you know,
who's making the hot button item? Who you gotta focus on who's making the hot button item. Who's making it a hot button
well,
item?
like you said, the people that are benefiting economically and
Exactly.
politically from it.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's a sticking point,
Because
because
it's always
if
been there. And it's always
right,
been. This is not new.
exactly. And it's like they're making it seem like at this point there are millions of people every hour coming
Yeah,
across the border,
We
and
know that's not true.
that's just
We
not
know
the
that's not true.
case. But
that's
I'm
what.
just saying that's just not the case. And it's
But
like,
that's what that idiot pushed.
yeah, and it's this whole idea that when they are or when they're bused or flown to New York, that we have to put them up in hotels that are in, like, when I was in New York, there was a couple of hotels in Brooklyn that they were no longer servicing like regular patrons,
They
because they
put
were
people out.
housing, right, they were housing because it was more profitable
Yeah.
for them to take care of. So that's a business decision. That's
Yes.
not
That's
that's
a.
not a migrant overflow. It's a business decision that, you know what, we can make more money if we have every single room occupied with
Hmm.
migrants than we can if we have regular paying customers. So
Yeah.
it's a money decision. So
Yeah.
what you see as a result of people making business decisions about an item that has become a hot button issue that's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a
I
deal.
don't know. Okay.
And it's like when you and you get people riled up because you can say, hey, they're coming here and they're taking our jobs. Hey, they're coming here and they're impacting our voting. Hey, they're
So
coming here.
so they're
Yeah.
not. So they're really not.
And
So
MS-13 and whatever.
Yeah.
MS-13. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is that they throw that in there. They criminalize all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, they're not taking our jobs. They're not taking our opportunities.
I'm taking out women.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything.
I'm glad you think that. Again,
Anything.
even if they are employed at a lower level job and whatnot and not making a lot of money, but you mean to tell me that possibility, that potential for any one of them to want to rise up and do something, that's not taken away.
But that happens with any group.
I'm just saying.
No, but I'm saying, do you know, like a lot of times when these guys come here, like when the Asians come here, when they come here and they will live like in inhumane conditions, they'll live and work because they're trying to make a better life, and then they get on the come up, get business loans, whatever. Next thing you know, I came here, I was washing dishes, now I have my own market. And now from that market, I get a house. And then from that, I get another market or a nail salon or this or that. And it starts from that. So when the West Indian, when the Caribbean people were coming here, and they were coming here and working the 2, 3, 4 jobs because they were trying to make a better life for themselves and for their families back home, they railed against that. Oh, you work in all of these jobs and this and that. Oh, you only got one job? You lazy. I got 3 jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or when the Irish came, or when the Italians came, or it's always something. It's always something. And again, I gotta tell you, I don't, other than the fact that they're making this a political issue, I don't see like where the country is being overrun and overwhelmed and so forth with immigrants. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And again, I mean, I could be wrong, but it's like when you keep saying something in the news, it's great for that propaganda. They keep saying the same thing over and over and over. Before long, you'll start believing, hey, the country is being taken over by immigrants.
Have you ever seen the footage, old footage, and pictures of Ellis Island?
Yeah.
I mean, every day. Now you talk about every day the ships were coming in, and they were all going to Ellis Island, and then, but the difference is they all didn't have to stay in New York. That was their story in America started in Ellis Island, but then they went all across the country.
Of course.
And to what Bishop was saying, 2-3 generations later, these are some of the politicians. That was their origin story, and now they're talking about closing off everything.
Again,
it doesn't mean that, and because other immigrants are still coming in.
Right.
Again, no room at the end.
So
no room at the end.
No room at the end.
But I'm saying if they were saying if they were bringing the migrants in themselves and then making them indentured servants, then it would be just fine.
Yeah, plenty of room.
Yeah, it would be. It wouldn't be enough room. It wouldn't be enough room in the end.
Again, no room at the end. I'm sorry.
It's like, we got more than enough space.
Like I said, I'm in the minority. Whatever. No room at the end. I'm not backing off that. It is what it is.
That's because ours train is always too crowded.
No room at the end. Yeah. That's it.
We're gonna get you a seat.
But I'm saying, like, I don't understand why, like, on the outskirts of these outer boroughs and in these other areas, why don't they house immigrants in those areas, and kind of like, okay, well, now you can control their comings and their goings, because guess what? It ain't like you got a vehicle to be driving through the city. It's like, you are a captive audience. You know what I'm saying? We taking care of you, whatever. and you're in this specific location, and you're not disrupting the regular flow by being housed in the city, by being housed in areas in Brooklyn and places where that sort of thing is going to interrupt the regular flow of things and have people like R railing against somebody coming to the country to make a better life for themselves.
Are
And it's
standing
like
on the corner shaking a
standing-
newspaper, an actual
exactly,
paper
standing there-
newspaper.
standing there with tube socks with batteries in it, talking about with D batteries in it, talking about it's like talking about homie don't play that.
Yep.
Homie don't play that.
Whatever, son. Whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
whatever.
just trying to stay objective, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
these people are like it takes a lot. You know what it takes for some of these people to take that journey, and
Yeah.
you don't know what's on the other
Right.
side, but you just saying, I got to do something different.
But not everybody,
Yeah.
not everybody is doing that because on the Upper West Side, I want to say from 76 going uptown, on Broadway. You know the island where you have the seats in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They congregate. They congregate there all day, all night.
Mhm.
There's a dorm on 70th Street, West 70th Street. They're in there.
Okay.
It's sad. It's sad, but at the same time, look, I don't see nobody looking miserable. This is just my personal opinion.
Mhm.
They out there partying, playing music.
Of course they are.
You know,
Of
this
course
is
right.
I-
Our role design, of course they are.
Yeah.
so
Same thing. The same thing about like when the people who are railing against the immigrants, those are the same ones that will sponsor an immigrant to come live in and take care of their kids and clean their house.
Yeah.
And those immigrants are okay though.
No, they're okay. Yeah.
Those
Because
ones are okay.
Because I've vetted them. Yeah. So I know they're okay.
Right. We don't need any more. We don't need any more. Like I said, no.
So we don't need any more of any immigrants there.
Well, you already got enough.
So
We've
already
got
got enough.
So you
close
start
the door behind you.
Let a few expire before we bring some in. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Somebody's been reading the MAGA playbook.
Oh man.
Somebody's been reading the MAGA playbook.
Listen.
Take your hat out, dude. Take your hat out.
Take it out. Take it out.
Yeah, me and Kanye. Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. I know we're just joking here because I don't want to have to be on there talking about that was R that drove his car through Midtown.
No, drove a city bike.
Yeah, drove a city bike.
A city bike into some migrants on Broadway.
Yeah.
It's like,
get
out of my way. Yeah,
that's where they at.
my way.
Like, in the assailant riding a city bike, one of those city bike with 2 tube socks full of D batteries.
Driving through. I'm saying, oh damn, that was R.
Like, talking about where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me switch the channel on this one. Let me switch the channel. Good discussion though, even though y'all got on my goddamn nerves and whatnot. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all love, man. Now, I wanted to bring this up for a quick second, only because I was having a discussion, and I know I'm 59 years old, so I'm up to my age. Yeah, whatever.
The Kevin Hart voice. I'm right behind you.
You're right. I'm about to say you're right behind me. So I'm just saying, back in the day. Now I don't know if I want to blame social media. I don't really know what to blame. But the closeness of family is not what it once was. You understand? In this day and age, how many of us get together with our families? And it could be small, intimate, small, or large. I know I have experienced many large gatherings on Sunday evening. You understand? Having discussions, you know what I'm saying? Like 6, 7, 8, maybe even as many as a dozen family members all around together. This is the children, the adults, and just having these conversations and just conversing and being connected. Now maybe it's me. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know everybody's family like that, but to me, it seems like there's a lot less of it going on in today's society. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, this is a progression. This is a progression of.
And is this a good thing?
No, it's a progression of the agenda that's been put forth, especially in the Black and Brown communities, because being a part of something, having a sense of self, having a sense of self-worth, that 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 brings about a certain pride, that brings about a certain standard in ideology, mentality, and living. And I don't want you to have that. I want you to constantly be in a struggle. I want you to constantly be lost. I want you to constantly be trying to figure out and play follow the leader. I want you to not have a sense of self. I want you to never have any pride in who you are, because that allows me to continue to maintain a grasp on control. That allows me to continue to maintain a grasp on what I deem as the majority. Not I'm not physically the majority, but I hold the majority of the power. It allows me to hold on to that. So again, if you look at, and I can only speak from the perspective of the Black and Brown family, if you look at it, it's kind of like we as a people have bought into all of the ideologies, that the European ideologies, where women feel like they don't need men, or where men have relegated their positions in the family because of they've equated their level of significance and importance by the amount of financial contributions they bring to the table. And it's like, so when I look at our situation, and it's just like, first you have where society is built, where women make more money than men. They get more of an opportunity to make more money than men. And then you have some women that feel like, because I make more money than you, that you can't say anything to me. You're not worthy of me. And then you get some men who buy into this ideology, because I can't match you for dollar, or I feel like I'm less than a man, or that equates to my worth. My income earning potential equates to my worth. And it's the furthest thing from the truth, because it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's what you spend it on and how you use it. That's what dictates. And for me, it's kind of like we as a people have gotten so lost and so caught up in this ideology of, I don't need a man. I can do it on my own. I can do this, I can do that. I'm an independent woman, and blah, 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 and this and that, and all sorts of other falsehoods that they tell themselves, that they try to convince themselves of. Because if that's really the case, I don't need to broadcast it. If that's really the case, I'm trying to convince myself that I don't need it. I'm trying to convince myself.
Those are the ones that, they're secretly looking.
Right.
But then they're publicly that I don't need.
Right.
And not everybody, not saying that a woman has to have a man, but 100% agree with you. I remember when I was newly married, had an infant son, and my wife and I, with my son in the stroller, go down to social services to see if I was the only one working, was making bare minimum, and to see if we could get some kind of assistance. Right. And naturally we were told, I made what is it, $1 more than the limit. It's always whatever it is. It's always, So as we were turning to leave, there were two women there, and they said to my wife straight up, they said, if your husband wasn't there, you would be eligible.
Right.
And we knew what that was, and I mean, they thought they were being helpful. But they bought into that same, line of thinking. And for many, there is, the statistics are sometimes a little skewed because in some cases the man is actually in the home. It's just unreported.
Right.
Because so that they can maintain certain things. But the idea is that, I mean, think of it. If we're talking about family connections and the whole family dynamic, the idea that having the man there somehow hinders you, that, and that we've bought into that. I think back. I think it was the late. I think it was Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. In the '60s, he had the Moynihan Report, and it was about the single mothers in the Black community and how the destruction, of the home and so forth. But it demonized the women, shame them. Single mothers are the problem, and this is all the things that it leads to. If you have a single mother home, then you have less educated children who then will turn to crime and all. So they built this on, but the whole thing was based on the single mother problem. And that was somebody who was considered liberal. So, and sometimes they're equally as damaging.
Well, if you think about, so this is something that I thought about the other day. If you think about it, like all of the single parent households that, you have these women that have these children and they don't need a man, or they've run the man away, or whatever the situation is. He feels less than, or whatever the situation is. You have a generation, or you have a few generations of children who have been raised in single parent households, and you just look and it's like, so you guys have had the opportunity to raise these boys, raise these girls, and look where we are. Look at the result of that. So that should tell you that it's not a one person job. It's not a one person job. If you like, when I grew up in a single parent household. And it's different. It's different. My mom understood the value of boys being around men, boys being around role models, male role models. She understood the value of, like, she didn't think that she could, at a certain point, it's kind of like, I can't teach you how to be a man. I can't teach you how to be a man. So now we have a bunch of women who they want to wear the pants, the skirt, whatever it is, they want to be all things, and you can't. You can't teach a young man how to be a man. You can't teach a boy how to be a man. You just can't. That's like me trying to teach a girl how to be a woman. I can't. I can give you an idea on what I believe how a woman should behave, but I can't teach you how to be a woman because I've never been a woman.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. I just don't want to make it an indictment.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that the proof that you somehow don't need to have a positive male in your life, a positive male in the home, a father figure, the proof that this ideology that you don't need it, the proof is there. You have a bunch of young men who have been feminized. You have a bunch of you have a bunch of girls who are lost.
Yeah, I think the key that you said, Bishop, positive
right.
male figure.
Yes,
because there are situations that have been damaging where the father is there. So I think in an ideal situation, most women would want to parent in a two-parent household, where there is a positive male in there who is playing the role of father and male role model. I think I think we'd be hard pressed to find a woman that would say, "No, I don't want that." Not for my child.
Whoa,
Not,
there's women that make this decision that they want the bad boy, and it doesn't matter how that impacts the kid. I just need the bad boy in the life, and we say positive.
But do you think, Bishop? Do you think that they are thinking about it? They're thinking about it for themselves.
Right.
I'm talking about for their child.
Well, I misspoke. Sometimes the child is not the priority. It's
that's
what I need.
The segment that's problematic. And I'm talking about the parent who has to push the child first. Those that are out there still trying to be OnlyFans and Instagram and all that stuff, they're not putting the child first. Absolutely.
Obviously.
So that's a different demographic than the one that I'm referring to. That's a whole nother segment.
Yeah. When I say positive male role model, I also have to preface that with positive female role model as well, because
100%.
you can have a mom who's present but doesn't know her position.
That's true.
Doesn't know her position.
That's true.
And if you have a mom that's there that doesn't know her position, then even if you have a positive male role model, she doesn't know her position, so there's going to be that clash. There's going to be that lack of respect. There's going to be that. Yes.
So you guys have put excellent examples on kind of like the breaking of the family, so to speak, with those reasons that you just gave. Obviously, you understand, because again, I come from an era where there was much more togetherness. There was that positive male role model. There was that positive female role model. You understand? As a matter of fact, there was more than one in my house. You understand? My household. So we had that bond, togetherness. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure out, and you guys have put examples out there of why this is broken. You know what I'm saying? Now, is it broken in every single home? I have no idea, because I'm not in every single home like that. But again, to me, in this era, in this generation, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Well, you can look at 3 or 4 generations back, and you can see where things have veered left. Just 3 or 4 generations. You look at some of these young people. I'll just say like 20s and younger, and it's just like, what happened? Like,
what happened? Well, you know what? I was talking about, and hold on for a second. Let me just do one thing. Good evening, Sir Denardo.
Good evening, gents.
I needed you, Dom.
Too late.
I needed you, Dom.
No. He ain't need you like that.
Dom.
The one
I need you to set these dudes straight.
Too late.
Now.
Too late. We've moved past that.
We moved past that.
This is one of those.
They were talking bad about your Yankees, dog.
You know, this is what cracks me up. What Bishop was saying about they don't need a man. It wasn't if we kept saying we don't need a woman, but when you talk about that situation that Dave was talking about, going to social services and somebody tried to tap your wife and say, "Hey, you should have lied.
Right?
You left your husband in the car." This is the problem. See, people don't understand that system that Dave was talking about. Thank God he didn't get hooked up in it, because it's become a crutch. This has held so many people back for decades. We're talking about generational curses that have been carried on from generation to generation, where somebody thinks they're winning because they're on the system, getting $200 worth of food stamps and maybe some Section 8. But where are you progressing in this? Whether you want a man or whether you want a woman or not, this part has been the part that has been killing communities. And I hate to say this, guys, your community in a specific.
Yes. It's true.
This and said, let's not get too political, but somebody latched on to this and said, this is one good way to keep a vote. We feel like we're giving them something, but in the end, you ain't getting nothing, Dave. What did you do when you got turned down, Dave? You put on your boots.
That's right.
You put your head down and said, this is how I'm gonna do it.
That's right.
But people aren't doing that. They're thinking they're winning, guys. This shit is amazing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Remember when we had the conversation about the Army and I was shocked, Joe?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, guys. I knew people that were on the system longer than I was in the service. Could have retired before me. Could have retired before me if they decided to just say, hey, I'm going to get away from this stuff. I need to better myself. I'm not saying the military's for everybody, guys. I'm just saying there are people I knew that were on this system longer than I was in the service.
They hit a 5-star general in the Salvation Army.
And what I mean, I hate to say it so that has become such a, what is that word? Codependency.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're depending on you to keep your vote as long as they keep giving you, and maybe even at times giving you a boost in them food stamps. Because we're looking out for you. We're gonna hold you in bondage. Well, we're looking out for you. And you gotta somehow, some way blame the people.
Right.
Just like Bishop was saying. You know, I don't need a man. Well, you know what? I don't need your ass either. But I don't need food stamps. I don't need Section 8. I don't need nothing that's going to put a clamp on me that I feel like I owe somebody something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, guys.
But what gets me is the ones that act like you know they've earned this.
Oh,
you know what used to piss me off? And listen, and now we're talking about 25 years ago or so.
Okay.
I used to, before direct deposit, they would, I worked for the Board of Ed, and they would give us our checks.
Right.
And, I'd go to the check cashing place. And if it was the 1st or the 15th, the line is out the door.
You already know.
You already know. And I've seen people in the check cashing place, with fur coats on. The kids got Jordans on and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, damn. Meanwhile, they took half my check in taxes. So Dave, now I know where it went.
Dave, I knew a guy that I grew up named Service. Every time I came home on leave, I went to see him at his job. He worked at the office you're talking about, Dave, on Freeman Street.
Okay.
Right from Southern Boulevard. I would go see him. And he would come out and we'd get a slice. And he'd be like, Dom, look at all these Beamers. Like, I'm coming in. They're in here. They're in the building already. They're double because they're in the building. Most of the time, the guy was in the car waiting for the girl to come back out.
Yeah.
Beamers, Benzes, we're talking 84, 85. Come on, guys, y'all remember? Y'all are old enough. Y'all said remember when we used to get checked in the military? You had to go report for your check and get your check.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's the part that I just can't.
You're breaking up. Don, you're breaking up a little bit.
You're breaking up, Don. But
can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's not that we're better. I don't want.
Yeah, that's better, though.
Better than somebody. But if you think you're winning, hey, I'm sorry. That part I can't get beyond, fella.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you think you're winning with this system, then they got you right where they want you.
Yeah. And what's the motivation for some people to get off of it?
Man.
And then I know that we focus a lot on the Black and brown community, but what they don't like to really talk about the Hasidic community. Go down.
That community that is not deemed as a negative. What they craft that into is, I'm a student.
They're all scholars.
I'm a scholar and I'm an academic, so I'm going to mosque or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm going to
rabbinical
temple.
school.
I'm
Yeah,
going to temple. I'm 40 years old. I've never had a job.
that's right.
I have
But I'm
7
studying.
kids.
I'm
I
studying.
have 7 kids. I
Yep.
receive
Mhm.
government assistance. I also
Mhm.
have some special needs children
Mhm.
because
Yep.
me and my first cousin we've
That's
got
right.
married,
That's right.
and I
Mhm.
also my uncle owns a facility for special needs
Mhm.
individuals. So we get money from that as well, and we get help assistance so that the special needs children can live in these facilities.
There are
So
projects in Williamsburg that are filled with Jewish scholars.
Exactly.
yes, we all are.
But
All are.
you know what, guys? It goes hand in hand with the subject y'all probably talked about before this, with the homelessness. And I was telling R earlier, y'all heard me in the chat. I didn't know they had a rule that said people cannot be homeless. When did this just happen? Like, we're gonna sue you because you can't find somebody that's an immigrant someplace to live. So fuck the people that have been homeless in New York City. See, this is where the system just confuses you so bad that most people, if they don't think they're winning, they just give up, guys. Be honest. They just say, you know what? I can't deal with this shit. I'm really not saying they commit suicide, but they either just say, I can't deal with this, and they stay stagnant, or some of them pull their bootstraps up, and that could be a motivating factor. But we know, I'd say 80%, it's not a motivating factor. They fall under the cracks. Because when R brought that shit up, and I read it today, and then I went and started doing the research on it, I'm like, this is embarrassing. How could any group, Dave, I don't care if me and you got together and we was boom for every migrant in the goddamn city. We're skipping over all the homeless people y'all had in that great city. And you never heard nobody say we're suing, did you? Y'all lived there.
No.
No.
Where did this come from, guys? I was so confused, R. And now you talk about this shit with the family and the system, and it's like a joke, man. I don't mean to sound like that. God bless these people that are struggling. But again, we had this conversation once before, guys. What is wrong with saying us first? Is there something wrong with that? Are we
Apparently.
Are we going to be called another name if we say, I'd rather look out for Bishop than whoever this so-called asylum seeker is? We haven't even identified what asylum seeker is. They just come to the border. Hey, I'm an asylum seeker. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to send you on your merry way. Come back to court next month. We don't see R no more. Now he's a number in New York City. How does this shit happen, fellas? I'm so fucking confused. I don't mean to curse, but it's sad.
No,
let it out.
It ain't even
let
sad,
it out.
guys.
Let it out. Let it out.
It's pathetic. It is pathetic. When I read that shit today, I was like, what group? Serious. What group could have the balls to tell Mayor fucking Sanford, we're going to sue you because some illegal immigrant don't have a hotel to sleep in? What group has the balls to do this? I don't get it. And you know what? They do. They not only have the balls, they have a voice. But see, here's where playing the game hurt a lot of people. Everybody wanted to be a part of this sanctuary city shit to get votes. But now that it's coming back to hit you in your ass,
well, that's it right there.
Where's Dave? Dave said he was going to help me. But did Dave say that? Dave hoodwinked you to say, I'll be a sanctuary. He didn't say, hey, when shit hits the fan, I got your back. Did he say that? No. He wanted your vote. He wanted you to say, I'm a sanctuary city, rah, rah, boom, bye. I don't think nobody's suffering more than New York City, fellas.
I don't think so.
Guys, I have nothing to do and all day to do it. So I sort of keep up on this stupid shit. And I'm like, they're coming to fucking New York like it's like everybody wants to go duck hunting. Let me go duck hunting in New York. And what are they doing? They're lined up around the block, and who's feeding them? Sooner or later, guys, they'll start getting vouchers. Come on.
They're getting that already.
Yeah, we've seen this game, haven't we? They get vouchers, they get cash, they get benefits. And meanwhile, those 25,000 people that were homeless yesterday, we don't know where they are. We don't know who they are, where they are, what they're doing.
They're not getting shit, and they're probably dying.
Are they getting?
They're probably dead.
Yeah. Are they getting the vouchers? And what do we have, guys? August, September, October, November. We got about 4 more months where it starts getting cold again in New York City.
Yep.
So now here goes your subways again, right? Now the subways are packed with this shit. I mean, when does it stop? When does somebody say, enough is enough? I don't know when. Just like I said about the system. I've known numerous people, guys, that were on the system before. Rodney joined the military, Dave, and Dominic. Them son of a bitches could have retired long before us.
Yeah.
And here they are, still getting food stamps. But I'm winning. Because guess what, R? I ain't gotta get up to get these food stamps.
No, I'm gonna take my Tesla, which I got, and get it.
My EBT card is gonna get rebooted every month.
Yeah, but
Really?
if you look at the grand scheme of things, it's like, so the $200 or $500 or whatever the pennies that they're giving you on the dollar, you could have earned that over tenfold if you'd have just got up and got a job or got a couple of jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I never could understand that, but I mean, I guess once you get, it's like it's like we as human beings are the only animals that don't force people to do stuff. Like when birds in the nest, you got a certain amount of time, you got to shit or get off the pot or get out the nest. It
And
doesn't
then what
matter
happened,
if you can't fly. Oh well, sucks to be you. You're just gonna be on the ground eaten by a predator, by something.
Yeah.
But we can no longer support you.
Sucks to be you. Okay.
But then what happened, guys? Not to drag this on, everybody wants to go. But what happened in the interim of all of this? COVID. Now we got legal people that were working yesterday that we're gonna say, don't go to work. We got you back. And these they collected checks much more than they were making at work to sit home. And now all of a sudden we're gonna sit here and say, oh man, the United States is hiring all these people. No, motherfucker, they ain't hiring nobody. These bastards had to go back to work.
No,
the shit ended.
But what they realize is, if you were getting that COVID money and you were getting that boost, you realize, hey, wait a minute, I am severely underpaid. The system is set up. So there's no way that I can win. Like if I go to work and I work 60 hours a week, I'm still gonna be behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
I'm still gonna be behind the 8 ball. So you just open people's eyes up to the fact that this shit is rigged. It's rigged for me not to succeed. It's rigged for me not to excel. It's rigged for me just to live in a state of existence. And you know what? I don't want to do that no more. Because you give people a taste of that, freedom? You give people a taste of that, like, well, wait a minute. This is how I'm supposed to be living. I'm supposed to have enough money to pay my bills and also have a little bit left over where I don't have to struggle. Where
What
I don't
a
have to worry
novel
about.
idea.
You know what's real weird, Dave? Us two, I don't know if Reggie and Bishop were really as deep into this as we were, and Mac, and even Chandler. When this shit started, when COVID started, and we were bringing things up like, oh man, people get to work from home. Oh shit, people ain't got to go to work. Oh shit, people don't even got to pay their rent. Oh shit, look at all the extra shit the government added to this COVID relief. Remember, guys? We got to put money to the JFK library. What did that have to do with the pandemic? But see, they fed you bullshit on the left and shoveled more bullshit down your throat on the right. We had these conversations, guys, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And what happened? People got their rent paid for 2 years. What happened when that rent stopped getting paid?
They out.
Thank you, Red.
They out. Believe me. I'm throwing apartments in the back of my truck. No lie.
Wow.
Yeah, I seen it happen right here with some family members. They thought they were gonna milk this shit forever.
No.
And what happened, guys? Like we said earlier on in this, how some people got over and the system helped them get over. But we all had these conversations. Oh, this is a great idea, guys. If Dave can't go to work and his income is being affected by COVID, that shit wasn't for everybody. If you were collecting Social Security or welfare. Why was you getting shit? Your income didn't change.
Yeah, right.
Word.
That shit got so
That's
out
true.
of control, and nobody had a grasp of this shit
It was ridiculous.
until it ended. When it ended, it was like, oh shit, Dave's scratching his head now. These
Yeah.
motherfuckers, they were
What am
giving
I
me
going
shit.
to do now?
Yeah, they were
Yes,
giving
sir.
me shit that I didn't know what I was getting.
Yep. And then one of those people with
Done.
those stupid what are those PPE loans or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've known each other too long now, guys.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's almost sad when we rewind the clock. And I told you guys, there's times I go back and I listen to shit that we did, 2-3 years ago. And I sit here scratching my head saying, if we just did a Remember When show,
Yeah.
this shit would sound like what we're talking about today. We don't
Yeah.
even got to say we talked about this shit 3 years ago.
No.
We're still talking about the same shit right now.
Yeah.
Right now, guys.
Mhm.
Again, I have a lot of free time, so, but think about that. I told you guys, and I'm gonna end it. I went back and listened to that dumbass show we had the other night when y'all talked about being in the military. I could not stop laughing, guys. Sitting here laughing as I'm texting y'all.
Well, Dom, wait till you play back tonight's show.
Oh, man.
I could imagine what Bishop was talking about.
Oh, boy.
All of us.
Bro, Dom, the only thing I know is we had a fake Yankees fan and we had a diehard Mets fan comparing the Yankees to the Cowboys or making an analogy that would, and it's just like, come on, really? And then they had the audacity after Reg and I called them out on it. They had the audacity.
Whoa! Is that the way it went?
To
I'm a listen.
kind of like say that Yankees fans are uptight and so forth and so on because they need somebody to kick on because during the 80s the Mets ran New York City.
That was a whole leap that you just did.
Exactly.
That was a whole
what,
leap
guys?
you just did.
Not to cut this off. I forgot what I was doing today. So when I do it all the time. Or when you put the subjects in, I copy paste and I put my answers underneath there.
Okay.
Just to get it. And I will say this, and I'll leave it alone. I thought the Mets won. I honestly thought the Mets won because they didn't have a total yard sale. And I'm a Yankee fan.
Right.
Now, the Yankees just didn't do nothing. We can't avoid saying that. They just didn't do nothing. For what reason, I have no clue. I thought maybe they were thinking, we're going to get Judge back. We're going to get Nestor back. We're going to add some pieces that we should have had. So it's like, okay, we don't really got to go sign somebody. We're going to get our own back. Mm-hmm. But in the long run, the Mets got rid of, come on, guys, again, with our memory bank, we all knew, why was the Mets signing Scherzer, Verlander? Because when you look at it, guys, did the Mets have a total yard sale? No. They got rid of some shit they should have never got. Let's be honest, whether you're a Met fan or not.
And that's what I said.
Yeah, they got rid of shit that they should have never got in the beginning. Okay,
wait a minute.
Cohen.
Yeah, you hear that? You hear that?
I said that.
One thing I can say, guys, Cohen slapped himself in the face, and he said, "Okay, I got to make this wrong or right. Mm-hmm. If I got to get rid of them and even pay a fraction of their salary, they got to go because you know what? We shouldn't have got them. Be honest, guys. Yeah. I'm not taking nothing away from Verlander and Scherzer. These guys are just almost as old as us.
Right.
Right.
And you thought you were smoothing it over because you didn't want to sign DeGrom. So you let go of one injury bug to bring on two senior citizens. Hey, he woke up and said, you know what? I can't totally make this wrong or right, but I could attempt to. And these two guys got to go. So that's what made me think, as I'm writing, that the Mets won. They may not win this season, but they won in the money. They won the money game. We got rid of these two clowns that honestly weren't doing that good.
And you know what? And to Don's point, not to beat the dead horse on this, but think about the old regime, Wilpons. They would have not gotten anything in return, or they would have gotten somebody else's bum.
Right.
To replace. So the fact that they got substantially younger,
Mm-hmm.
and these are guys that were not back end of farm system. I mean,
No.
these guys were up there, top ranked prospects.
Right.
So they actually, that was like a changing of what the Mets usually do.
There you go.
So in that
so-
regard,
Uh-oh.
you know,
So
here we go.
Here we go.
See, this is
Hold
the
on.
part
so
And
Dom,
as
where
we
they
talk,
start kicking.
so Dom,
as we speak, the Yankees just beat the Astros
Right.
4-3.
They,
so
all
Dom,
right, very
so
good.
Dom,
Here we go.
so in other words, the bar is so low that we're taking we're
See,
tipping
here
our
we
caps. We're tipping our caps to the
Hater.
fact fact.
No.
We're
You
tipping
see,
our
you-
caps. No, we're
I
tipping
want you
our
to
caps
remember
the
this,
fact-
Dom, when you rewatch the
We're
show.
tipping our caps with no, because what we did was we dumped on the Yankees because the Yankees haven't won the title since 2008, as Dave so elegantly pointed out to me
2009.
on several occasions.
Yeah, I said it
2009.
was 08 or 09. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, he so elegantly pointed that out on several occasions,
He
and
certainly
then he had the nerve and R backed him up.
Wow.
The host backed him
Co-signed.
up. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Amen. Amen. Say it again. Say it again.
Co-signed.
He had the nerve to bring up the fact that the Mets won a title back in '86 when we were juniors in high school, and how they ran New York in the '80s. And I'm just like, yo.
Again,
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, Bishop.
And then-
I'm just looking at the right
You-
now. The
Dom,
last,
And then the two of them acknowledged that with all of this winning that they're doing with these moves and so forth and getting things in return and getting this talent and whatever, that this season is a wash and next season is a wash. So at the end of the
I
day,
don't know about next
no.
season.
This is what I said. What I said was the moves that they made this past week, these recent moves, do not make them necessarily better next season. But I don't expect that to be the end of their movement. We've had a
Dave.
whole off season. That's all I said.
so the Yankees
Dave,
can't do
Dave,
anything in the offseason?
let
So
me
the
just
Yankees
say
can't-
this,
No,
guys.
I said the Yankees do that. I
Right, let me
said
say
that.
Let me say this, guys. If this kid, Aquino, homeboy's brother,
Yeah.
if he's what they say he is,
Yeah.
I don't care if Ed Charles is playing third base. He ain't playing third base next year. This
Yep.
kid is going to come in. This kid is not only he was one of the most highly touted people coming into the minor leagues, and he hasn't stopped since. This kid is the truth. And again, I'm just talking about what happened right now. I ain't talking about 1986, 2009.
Right.
I'm talking about
that's
this trade deadline.
that's where we went. That's where we went.
No,
That's
so
where we went with it.
Dom,
That's where we
Dom,
went
when
with
you
it.
listen, I want you to remember what I'm saying.
All right.
Word.
Oh, I'll be on your
no,
classes tomorrow morning.
Here's the thing. R gave a comparison
Yes.
between the Yankees and the Cowboys. I was quiet. Then these two in the peanut gallery brought the Mets. They brought the Mets into the conversation.
Exactly.
Where the Mets were not a part of this conversation, but they brought the Mets into the conversation. So then for the rest of that segment, that's why I was talking in defense of the Mets.
Exactly.
We weren't even talking about the Mets.
Why did
So
I-
that's, but this is why you, but here's the
Wow.
thing. It's the Dom, as they retell the story.
He's
talking
copping a
about
flea. He's
and
copping
they're
a flea,
talking about
Dom.
the Yankees, because it's all on tape.
Yeah.
As they
Go to the videotape.
as they
Your Honor,
retell the story,
Your Honor,
you notice how they retell it to you. They still couldn't help but
Your
bring the Mets
Honor,
into the
Your
into
Honor,
the conversation.
Your
Again,
Honor, no, the reason why I brought
they wanted
No.
you there, Dom.
No.
They,
Reason why-
they wanted you there
No.
because it was two.
No.
Because it was 2 against 2,
Yeah.
and they wanted you there. So
the
they
reason
were
why I brought
wishing
it up,
that
the
Dom
reason
was
why I
there.
brought it up is because the reason why I brought up the Mets is because I'm like, how in the hell does R have the audacity to make commentary on the Yankees when we all know that he's a Mets fan?
No, I'm not.
We all know that he's a Mets fan.
But I'm not.
Then he has to do.
R is telling you. He told you from the beginning. He said, "I'm a Yankee fan."
Is that-
You know what-
I
you know
don't
what's
believe
weird?
him.
You
I
know
don't
what's
believe
weird?
him.
You know what's
I don't
weird,
believe
guys? I'm gonna turn my camera on. I don't want y'all to get mad at me.
I don't believe him.
Let me see. Let me show you what I'm wearing.
Mets jersey.
Yeah. Then Dom has
Okay.
won that before because
And that-
Dom is not a Met hater.
I'm not again, guys, I looked at the subjects before y'all went, again, like we always do. Somehow, some way, we always go totally so far out of the damn, we're not even in the ballpark no more. We're outside somewhere by the train station.
Unbridled.
Totally away from the subject. My goal was just to touch on what y'all said. And again, I thought the Yankees, because guess what, guys? I said this today on Twitter. This one weekend could put the Yankees back in this.
Yep.
Because they're playing a team ahead of them, and the other two teams that are ahead of them are playing each other. So to me, this is, I cannot jump ship right now, not knowing where they're at, where there's still an opportunity for them to.
So in other words,
wait, let me finish, Bishop. Which, in that case, the way I was thinking, that's what pissed me off about them making zero moves. I understand the Judge coming back, the Nestor, but you didn't do nothing.
Okay,
and you still were in it.
Dom, let me just interject for
wow.
a second. Hold on. See, somebody got their feathers ruffled earlier. I'm not going to name names, but there's a certain individual. Their feathers got ruffled when I made the comparison because I was saying about how when George Steinbrenner was running the Yanks, yeah, he was a knucklehead at times. Yeah, he was a pain in the ass, and he made some bad moves. But the thing is that I respected about him, he wanted to win. He wanted the fans to have a championship and have a team to be proud of. I get that. I'm saying his sons, they don't have that same passion. As a matter of fact, I think the goal is not to win championship number 28. The goal is to have a pretty good season and get into the playoffs, maybe a nice little run, but not win a championship. That I've held on to that belief since Hal Steinbrenner.
And who used to always say that, guys? Who was a big proponent? Chandler, especially Chandler.
Yep.
Chandler was like, they don't want to win. They just want to win 100 games, get knocked out in the second round.
There you go.
Couldn't.
So,
okay.
So wait, I'm not done yet. So what happened was I said, with that fact, he doesn't want to win a championship. Hell, I'm thinking, well, maybe 5, 10 years, 15 years. Now you're rivaling the Dallas Cowboys as far as when you last won. That's all I said. And from that point,
that's
when the bottom fell out.
That's where it fell out. And then they picked on the one Met fan here.
But I could.
No.
I was minding my business.
What was said? We said you can't put the Yankees and the Cowboys in the same sentence.
Yeah,
that's what was said.
And then Dave elegantly went down the chronology of when the last championship.
Nobody said anything about the Mets.
He went into the psyche.
Now you guys are lying.
No, I'm not saying. I did say it. I did say it. But then
that's when
I didn't say nothing about the Mets.
But then Dave started psychoanalyzing the Yankees fan versus the Mets fan.
Yes, which you guys still continue to do.
And I'm like, yo, like, dude, like when you accustomed to winning, the bar is set so high that you expect to win. When you're a Mets fan, by the 87th game of the season, you already know it's time to pack it up and pack it in because either the injury bug is there or games are just like one zip or games are just being lost and you have no explanation why it's happening.
That's why I brought up the point. I was talking about this generation of Yankee fans has not seen the Yankees win. So they don't have the same view about the Yankees winning. They're no different than the Met fans of the same generation.
But
I disagree.
In all actuality, guys, I think it was, let's say I think the year 2000, something like that, where when you did the math, the Yankees had won a World Series once every 4 years. They were at 25 World Series by that time.
Right.
So again, and this covered many generations, almost 100 years actually. covered a 100-year span with games not even played, because we're talking from 25 to 2000 was when all of this shit just took off and all the series were won. So this covered generation after generation. So we've had fans that, you know, may have saw Murderers Row and then saw the 60s and then saw the drought and then saw the 70s and then saw the drought again. And then saw the 90s and the early 2000s. And so we've seen things that no other sports franchise has seen. We've seen the highs, the lows, the winning, the losing.
Right.
It's just
highs and lows.
I just think now, with again this shake and bake society we live in, you know, it's not like back when we would root for our team and say, you know what, they did pretty good this year. You know, we can't win a World Series every year. That's how I always looked at it, guys, because I'm old enough to have seen a numerous World Series. So I don't go to bed and I don't get as frustrated with the Yankees not winning as I do the Knicks, because the Knicks haven't won, you know, since being all of us. I don't even think
70.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking a damn 50-year span almost.
For sure.
We've seen ups and downs with the Yankees. We've seen a franchise go from your owner getting banned to him coming back, creating a winner. And now it's because of the expectations that we had. These younger guys just take it to a level it don't need to go to. You know, your mother sucks. You know, because you said they're still in it. You suck, and no, you know, it is what it is. And again,
making it personal.
Right. Again, I'm just looking at this year, and I think the Mets won. And I don't think it's going to take the Mets 2-3 years. I think the Mets are going to be right back to being competitive next year, because you got an owner who's sort of mirroring what Steinbrenner used to do. And now the Yankees are doing what the Mets used to do, acting like you're afraid to spend a dollar. Scared money don't make no money. This guy ain't afraid to. I'm telling you guys, if this kid's going to be playing third base for the Yankees next year. I mean, the Mets. He is going to be their starting third baseman next year. Trust me. This kid is that good, guys. If you don't follow minor league baseball, y'all all know I'm a baseball junkie. This kid's going to be starting for the Mets next year. And then we're going to sit back and say, man, we got rid of 2 senior citizens for this kid. And you know what? The Mets regime that they have now, they're not going to be so, okay, this kid was a stud in all levels of the minors. He gets off to a rocky start. You don't have that leadership in the Mets now that's going to say, oh, shit, we got to get rid of Dave. He's really not what we thought he was. You don't have that no more with the Mets.
Right.
They'll actually sit there and say, we know what this kid could do. And believe me, guys, I don't think it's going to take this kid. Yeah, I'm going to give him a New York minute. And he's going to be, I ain't going to say he's going to be better than his brother. Right. But there's some good genes running through that damn family, fellas.
I hear that. I heard that.
I'm just saying.
So
you'll be the Mets starting third baseman next season.
So that's what the whole thing.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. That was the whole thing.
No, since you came and you brought some levity to the situation. Now,
on your side of the coin.
Now the guys making these ridiculous comparisons to the Cowboys and the
that
Yankees
part I don't like.
And this and that. Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what got me riled up.
Right.
That's when I brought it. It's like, yo, hold up for a second. Hold up.
I think it would have been a fairer comparison for the Yankees. I mean, the Cowboys and the Mets, because the Cowboys won their last championship.
But you didn't say that.
10 years after the Mets won their last one, and 11 years when the Yankees won one that they didn't win one. That was a better comparison.
I understand that.
I think what I got out of it, and I'm not going to speak for R, but what I got out of it was there was a certain winning mystique that the Cowboys had at one time.
Right.
And now they are living off of that. And what I'm saying about the Yankees is the further they get away from 2009 and they don't win, there will be a generation that has no connection to that mystique. It would just be history to them.
Right.
That's the point that I was making. So that's why that's why then they brought it out. Well, when was the last time the Mets won? And all this stuff. But as I was explaining, as a Mets fan, I never grew up with the mystique of the winning.
But again,
when I
there is no mistake.
The typical emotional Yankee
when I tried to bring it to their attention, I said,
Yankee
"Hey, did
fan.
you just see what Art did? Did you just see what he did? He tried to backhand. He tried to
underhand
backhand us into making a comparison, and he think I wasn't going to catch it. He thought I wasn't going to catch it.
Well, that just seems like you just got your feelings hurt.
And then when I brought it up, and then I said the Mets, and then Dave got riled up, and then he started giving me a chronology of when the Yankees and blah, blah.
So basically, Don, the culprit was Rob.
Exactly. He's the one that riled everybody up.
What I should have done
Bishop,
after that statement, what I should have done,
just going on to the next segment.
I should have just handed Bishop what do you call it? I should have handed him a tissue and stop crying.
Now he wanted to make it
emotional. Let's talk about that homeless situation.
Right. Let's talk about that now. Yeah. Get onto a hot topic.
Where's they at?
That's a deflection.
Let's be honest. You know, we all love each other, but there's one guy on here that always tries to stir the pot.
Yes.
Let's keep it a buck. There's that one guy with no hair that always tries to stir the pot. Get people, and he can't do it with Bishop. R could be right, but Bishop won't let him be right. So
exactly,
there's 40 minutes right there.
well, it makes for a good, interesting. Bishop, you're a big Knicks fan.
Yes,
I'm a Knicks fan too, and Dom, of course. But Bishop, why do you root for the Knicks?
Win, lose, or draw, I'm a Knicks fan.
Right.
Okay.
I'm a Knicks fan.
The same reason why I root for the Mets. And so when someone talks about teams that have more of a winning tradition,
right,
and then they throw a shot at the Knicks, you're going to defend the fact that it doesn't matter that the last time they won, Nixon was still in office.
Fair enough.
Barely.
Barely in office. Right. So that's my feeling on it. It doesn't matter that 1986 you were a junior in high school. It doesn't matter to me.
Were we all born in 1973? Were we all anybody not alive?
Anybody not?
We were all alive in 73.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Old enough to remember very well.
Right. Okay.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys weren't.
So 4 years old, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So in other words,
8.
So in other words, the nature of the conversation denigrated when a certain individual made his derogatory statements and his analogy, his false analogy.
It's not false.
Which was a shot, which was an underhanded shot at the Yankees, and then gonna tell me, oh yeah, well you know I'm a Yankees fan too, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm very objective.
To show you what kind of guy R is, and you know we love him. If Bishop wasn't on the line, he wouldn't have went that route.
No.
He knows how to get the Bishop. He knows how to get the Bishop.
Wow.
You know what?
Honest,
you know what?
If Bishop
You're on to something. You're on to something there, Dom.
Cowboys and the Yankees. He gets Bishop to that rope. He throws the rope out there, and you know Bishop ain't letting go of the rope. It's just that damn simple.
Bishop was not letting go of that
rope.
Bishop tied that rope around his waist and was pulling.
Hey, let me sum it up like this. Me, Bishop, and you, Dave, saw the Knicks win 17 games twice in 5 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we never let go of the rope.
Nope.
But R still throw the rope out there. He don't give a shit. He'll throw the rope out there. Now, me and you, Dave, sometimes we'll just drop back 20 and punt and let him go on.
Yeah,
Bishop won't do that.
Yeah.
Bishop's like, hell no.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'll do like Bishop does and just bring up the Nets.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. Yeah.
because that's
Well,
the
I'm
standard.
not even gonna bring that up anymore because it's shameful to bring it up because it's like he already knows. He already knows. He already knows. It's just shameful. The look on his face I, I don't even get any joy out of it anymore.
You know what I heard that
Right,
was
yeah.
funny? And I know y'all want it. You know what I heard that was funny? Ben Simmons could win comeback player of the year. I'm thinking to myself,
Oh yeah,
don't you
yeah.
gotta play to
You
win
gotta
comeback
play.
player?
Right.
You know,
The key part in that is player.
Yeah, don't you
Yeah.
gotta be on the
don't
court to
worry
win an
about it.
award?
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Between
He's
that
coming back.
between that and somebody in the group sending out a video of R.J. Barrett like driving to the basket and dunking, dragging his feet and dunking,
Yeah.
dragging his feet and dunking. It's like, yo, dude, like this is ridiculous. Like, why is this even posted?
I
Like, take
told
this
y'all
down.
the Maple Mamba.
Take
Yeah,
this
he
down.
gotta go. He gotta go.
It's like, yo,
Listen.
take this down. It's like, yo,
Oh.
it was ridiculous. Like the dude was playing absolutely no deep. He was just shoving him on the side and
Yeah.
allowing him to walk to the basket, and then he would dunk it. And it's like,
They
dude,
might as well just put a chair out there. and let him
exactly,
go.
exactly. And it was still slow. The move was still
It
slow.
was. He was thinking about it all the way. He was thinking about it.
It's
Left,
like, yo,
right.
I was
left.
expecting like a burst of speed or whatever.
No,
It was
no.
still slow as all
Yeah.
get up.
Well,
Like I said,
I'm ready for the Mitchell Robinson mixtape next.
There's some people, guys, before we go. There's some people that think Canada may give the United States the toughest go in this World Cup shit.
It won't be R.J. Barrett on the team, will he?
Well, here's the thing. The last time he competed in this kind of shit, he showed out.
right.
He puts on a Knick uniform and he goes, he just gives Bishop and me more fuel to say, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
And
Wait a
now,
minute. So
he's 23 years
saying-
old, guys.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Are you
He's
saying
not
he's Frank
19 anymore.
Ntilikina?
Yeah.
Oh
We-
God.
I'm telling you.
We heard it for 5 years. He's only
Yeah.
18. He's only
Yeah,
19. He's
yeah.
only 20. He's only 56.
Yeah.
Now
Right.
he's the general
Exactly.
manager.
Yep.
Well, like I said
Yep.
before I break out and end this particular episode, Ben Simmons will win comeback player of the year.
This guy here. This
I
guy
want to
here.
see him on the court first, at least.
And the
Watch.
Cowboys is going to win the Super Bowl this year.
All right.
Only if the Yankees do.
And Kwame Brown
Let
is
me ask
coming
y'all a
back.
question, real
And
quick.
Kwame Brown is coming back into the league. Kwame
Wow.
Brown.
Real quick, before we go, just one quick answer, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Who y'all got winning the Super Bowl? One at a time.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's a good question.
Man, I'm going to go out on a limb. Chargers.
Okay.
Whoa.
Bishop.
Kansas City.
Oh shit. Dave.
Yes, sir.
Jets.
R.
I would like for the Buffalo Bills, but unfortunately, I'll have to probably say Kansas City. As much as it
I'm
pains
gonna say what Dave said, and I'm gonna preference it with not because I'm a Jets fan. I think the Jets have made the best moves to get to where they're at.
They have. So we'll see.
Mhm.
That'll start September 7th, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think the Jets did the right. They had
did.
all the good pieces in place before they got Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Let's if we know football, which y'all know more than me, but I do follow the Jets.
Dom always says that, and then he rattles off.
No, but I
Exactly.
follow the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets and
Yeah.
the Giants to some
Yeah.
extent. But
Right.
you look what they did, Dave.
Yeah.
They put some good ass pieces in
Yeah,
place,
they did.
and the odd man out was the Wilson basketball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He had to be replaced, and
Exactly.
not only did you replace him, you replaced him with one of the best quarterbacks over the last 15 years.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm telling you. Watch.
Is he older or younger than Scherzer and Verlander?
Whoa.
it's got to be close. I think he's 38.
Okay. So he's
I
younger.
think.
He's not in his 40s yet.
No,
Okay.
he's not in his 40s.
No.
No, I don't think.
I don't
Might be
think so.
38.
He's no Tom Brady.
Yeah.
No, but I tell you what, I think he could throw a deeper ball better than Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And the Jets,
There's no question.
pretty quick little fellas out there. That's all they needed, guys. I mean, and let's be honest, without being a Jets fan, if the Jets would have got even a slight upgrade from Wilson, with the
Mhm.
people they had, they was at least going to make the playoffs. They was going to make the playoffs if they
So
slight upgrade from Wilson.
let's say somebody. Well, I think he's more than a slight upgrade. Somebody like Kirk Cousins.
Oh, they'd be in the playoffs. Say what you want about that crazy guy. He puts up numbers.
Right. Exactly.
Numbers. And that's all the Jets needed, guys. Those that us that watch the Jets, they had a good defense. Remember, the Jets had the offensive and defensive rookies of the year last year.
Yeah.
Right.
So these kids are only going to get better.
Exactly.
Their wide receiver core got better. Their defense has always been pretty damn good.
Middle of the pack. Middle of the pack.
You were missing a quarterback. And again, you go get one of the best ones the last 15 years. And guess what? He's not injury prone for all the years.
Yeah.
He's really not injury prone. So I got the Jets winning the Super Bowl.
I hear you. And like I said, I don't think they need to have Aaron at 100%. You don't need to be an all-world quarterback. I think at 75%, that's good enough.
75% of him is better than
what's that running back from Minnesota?
Dalvin Cook.
If they get Cook, shit, my percentages are going up.
I hear that.
Because they don't have a real solid running back like this kid. This kid could run, he could catch. If they get him, guys, I think me and Dave are both Jet fans, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, don't slight the dude that got injured last year. Don't slight that dude.
Yeah.
He's good. He's very good. You know,
they're ready for this, guys. Serious.
We'll see.
They put themselves in a good position to
now
at least be more competitive.
The only way that we know that if they're truly jinxed, then
don't say it.
You already don't go.
Rodgers gets hurt week 2.
Yeah. Right after Doug said he's not injury prone.
Yeah,
exactly. The first thing that came in my head. That's why I knew where you were going.
I'm done, man. I won't watch nothing else.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
All right, man.
Guys,
all right, brothers.
All right, brothers.
All right.
Next week.